the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Good morning, you beautiful people, and welcome to what we call magic. My name is Roux and this is Jamie Lee Domberg on my left here, and we are prepping ourselves for one cold, chilly winter. Indeed, we are. Such a nostalgic time in the morning for me, Jamie. It reminds me of home cooking, it reminds me of winter hiking, just snuggling up. I don't know, what does it mean for you?
Sure. Winter for me is waking up and then not wanting to get out of the bath. So I literally this morning, I got into the bath and I was like, do I really need to wake up? I do, Mzansi. We need to wake up to you every single morning. Of course, in the winter chill, it's becoming more and more evident every single morning, and I can only think of all the wonderful winter dishes we can look forward to. I know that we are going to be cooking up a storm. What is on the menu today, Mr.
We are cooking up indeed. So we've got recipes coming at you. We've got a feta, spanakopita, stuffed chicken. We've got cheesy, spicy enchiladas, and we've got a cheese and onion pie. That's not just it.
So good. Also, it's Wednesday, so we know what's coming. It's a culinary hotline bling.
Ching, ching, ching.
And all things chicken is coming your way. We've got fried chicken. We have roast chicken. Every chicken is coming your way. So it's going to be a feast here on the show. So remember to keep it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. I know someone is also excited, just as we are. Mr. Wasty is in the building. Good morning, Carl.
I missed you so much, Jamie Lee and Ryle. You know what, your faces are so beautiful, but my name is Carl. As mentioned, it's lovely to have you along for the ride until 9 o'clock this morning. It's on S3. We're opening up. In fact, talking about open up, can I just open up the fridge? Because I need to get something, just something refreshing, man. It's quite important for us to do that. So let's go here and enjoy something, because I think it's quite important for us to have a bit of juice in the morning. But some juice we need in social media, it's simple, and that is, if there's anything that somebody has shared with you that has changed your life, I would love to see that on the Expresso Facebook page. Personally, it's when somebody told me that you'll never fail if you keep on trying. Game changer for me. But if you want to share yours, please feel free. And it could be something like a trinket, an object. Maybe somebody gave you a vehicle that could allow you to go to university. Whatever that may have been, I want you to share that on the Expresso Facebook page. It's going to be absolutely incredible hearing those, and also changing people's lives with other people's stories. So give it a shot. Go to the page and share that little thing that somebody shared with you that changed your life.
The time now is just after 6 o'clock. Time to have a first look at these news headlines. We start off with your national news. The second day of phase 2 of public COVID-19 vaccinations yesterday saw numerous people heeding the call to obtain their immunizations. By last night, some 40,000 over 60s had been jabbed. The health department said the people who received messages had been selected on the basis of who registered first on the government's electronic vaccination data system. Now, more SMSs will go out each day of the week for appointments, and people living in old age homes will be prioritized in most provinces. Teams will visit the institutions and register and vaccinate residents on site. In other news as well, the government has allocated 10 billion rand to upgrade informal settlements across the country over the next 3 years. Now, this was announced by Human Settlements Minister Lindiwe Sisulu in the National Assembly during her budget vote. Sisulu said the department wishes to upgrade 679 informal settlements across the country this year. Now, more than half of these settlements are based in the country's large metros. The first phase will target tenants in the social housing market, and these are people living in government's rental housing stock who were negatively impacted by the pandemic. On to international news. The Paris summit, seeking to boost financing in Africa amid the COVID-19 pandemic, yesterday called for the lifting of vaccine patents to allow their manufacture on the continent. Now, citing the slow pace of vaccination as a major problem for the continent, French President Emmanuel Macron staked out an aim of vaccinating 40% of people in Africa by the end of 2021. Macron warned that failing to vaccinate Africans risked allowing potentially dangerous COVID-19 variants to emerge on the continent and then spread across the world. In other news as well, a skyscraper of more than 70 stories has been evacuated after it started to shake, sending shoppers scurrying for safety in the Chinese city of Shenzhen. Now, Shenzhen, a city of more than 12 million people, is known for its shopping and booming tech industry. The 20-year-old building houses an electronics market and offices, and local authorities do not yet know what caused the 300-meter Seg Plaza building to begin wobbling yesterday afternoon. Now, no earthquakes were recorded at the time, and an investigation is still underway. Now next, a supermodel making world headlines. The world-famous supermodel Naomi Campbell yesterday announced that she had become a mother to a baby girl. She turns 51 in 4 days' time, and in interviews over the years, Campbell had spoken about her plans of becoming a mother. In 2017, she said in an interview, quote, "I think about having children all the time, but now, with the way science is, I think I can do it when I so wish." Now, the supermodel did not disclose further details about the newborn, no name, no date of birth, but she did say that a beautiful little blessing had chosen her as her mother. She added, and I quote, "So honored to have this gentle soul in my life. There are no words to describe the lifelong bond that I now share with you, my angel. There is no greater love." Now, of course, the catwalk superstar was discovered as a schoolgirl and went on to become the first black British model to appear on the cover of Britain's Vogue. London-born Campbell is also known for charity work, and in 2005 founded Fashion for Relief, a charity merging fashion and philanthropy. Well, that is where I leave your news. Here is Carl with your sports headlines.
Fear sees right off. Fearless sees better car.
Let's take a look at your sporting action, and starting off with Rugby Sevens and World Rugby. And SA Rugby yesterday confirmed that the Rugby World Cup Sevens 2022 will take place in Cape Town from 9 to 11 September next year. The 8th edition will feature 24 men's and 16 women's teams. Both the Blitzboks and Imbokoro teams have been included. The qualified teams for the men's event are defending champions New Zealand, with England, South Africa, Fiji, Argentina, USA, France and Scotland all a part of the mix. In the women's draw, South Africa will join New Zealand, France, Australia and the USA in Cape Town. Moving on to football, Premier Soccer League action continued last night with Bloemfontein Celtic coming from behind to beat Chippa United 2-1 at the Sisa Dukashe Stadium. Following the results, Celtic moved up to 10th, while Chippa remained in 15th spot. In other results, Swallows FC and Stellenbosch played out to a goalless draw, and Baroka FC as well, and their Limpopo rivals Tsakuma Cha Madzivandila also drew 0-0. There'll be 2 PSL fixtures today. Golden Arrows take on TS Galaxy at 3 p.m. and Cape Town City FC face Maritzburg United at 5 p.m. Now, wrapping up with some football action from abroad, just a few days after Leicester City beat Chelsea 1-0 to be crowned FA Cup champions, Thomas Tuchel's men got sweet revenge in the English Premier League to boost their top 4 hopes. The Blues recorded a 2-1 win over the Foxes at the Stamford Bridge Stadium, of course, to move up to 3rd in the standings. In other results from last night, Brighton stunned champions Manchester City 3-2, and Manchester United were held to a 1-1 home draw by relegated Fulham in their penultimate league match of the season. There'll be 6 Premier League matches tonight. You're looking at Tottenham, West Ham, Arsenal and Liverpool all in action, and that'll be from 7 p.m. That's a wrap-up of your sport headlines for now. Let's take a look at your weather.
Thank you so much, Carl Wasey, for that sports update. Yes, time to have a first look at those beautiful pictures, but also to say thank you to all of you for sharing your sunrise views with us. Really is a wonderful way to start off the day. Now, we start off this morning with Nikki Meyer from Athlone, who shared this early morning view as they start the day. If you are in Athlone today, you can expect times of sun and clouds with a maximum of 19 degrees Celsius. We have another one coming through from Roxy Mays from Gqeberha, who shared this photo of the sky transitioning from cloudy conditions as the sun rises. Today, if you are in Gqeberha with Uncle Tabsy, you can expect partly sunny conditions with a maximum of 24 degrees Celsius. And of course, like we always encourage you, if you'd like to be featured in our weather segment, it really is simple. All you need to do right now is head on over to the Expresso Facebook page to share your photo and also your location with us. And we would love to see how your morning starts in your part of the country. Now, we love all of our viewers as well as the fact that we have a growing international audience who tune in via the Africa channel and YouTube on a daily basis. And this morning, we are giving you a brief weather update for Toledo, Ohio. It is a major port city in the Midwestern United States. Now, Toledo, as with many of the cities found in the Great Lakes region, has 4 distinct seasons annually. Summers are very warm and humid, while winters are very cold, often resulting in Lake Erie to actually freeze over. Today, you can, however, expect a mostly cloudy and humid day with a thunderstorm reaching a maximum of 27 degrees Celsius. In other news as well, the South African Weather Service has warned of cold, rainy and also windy conditions from tomorrow as 2 cold fronts would spread eastward over the southern parts of the country. The cold front is set to move over the southwestern Cape tomorrow morning, causing widespread showers and rain, especially over the western parts of the Western Cape. It's expected to spread over the eastern parts of the Western Cape, the southern parts of the Northern Cape, and western parts of the Eastern Cape as well. On Friday, a second cold front is also expected to make landfall, bringing rain and light snow over the Western Cape, and the cold will invade central parts of the country on Friday, with maximum temperatures dropping significantly. These conditions are expected to reach KwaZulu-Natal, Mpumalanga, and Gauteng on Saturday and Sunday. Now, small stock farmers are warned that animals should be taken to shelter. Temperatures are expected to drop significantly over the central, western and southern interior of the country from Saturday morning, with frost possible in places. Right now, here is a first look at the temperatures for today. We start off with you, Polokwane. Do expect a low of 8 today, peaking at 24. Umbombela, if you are out and about, do expect a low of 13, peaking at 28. Pretoria, for you, it is a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 22. Johannesburg ranges from 9 to 21. Mahikeng at 10-25. Klerksdorp, for you, it is 9-26. If you do find yourself in Kimberley today, expect a minimum of 13 and a maximum of 26. Bloemfontein, for you, it is 7-24. Richards Bay ranges from 18 to 28. Pietermaritzburg, 12-29. And South Africa's Playground, Durban, ranges from 18 to 27. Mthatha, 12-30, East London 21-31, Craddock, for you, coming through with a low of 13 and a high of 28, and Gqeberha 15-24. George 12-22, the mother city Cape Town ranges from 14 to 19, Worcester 11-25, Sutherland 6-20, and last but definitely not least, Uppington ranges from 15 to 30. Whatever you do on this beautiful Wednesday, make sure to keep it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Beautiful
that
weather, yeah?
That smile that Jamie Lee gives us the weather. Did you see that now?
I can't, yeah.
Hey, that excitement of what's to come on the show.
Feels,
I know, I could feel it right there. That was wonderful. But coming up, you know, the SAFTAs, it's happening this weekend, and our very own G will be presenting that. Yeah. But we do have something very special, an interview coming up, and it's all about animation.
Animation, it's called Binding Adventures, and it's a SAFTA nominee for the best animated film. And you guys do not want to miss this one. We're talking firsthand to the creators, and they're coming through right after this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
I love moments like these where we get to celebrate our local, I'm going to call them artists, because it is an art to put something on a screen. Now, growing up brings its growing pains and its sibling rivalry. It's definitely one of the top challenges of our lives. And a short animated film called Binding Adventures, made by students at the animation school during 2019, explore how this relationship can be strengthened through the simple joy of playing together. And we're being joined via video call by the film's producer, Michaela Spangenberg, and team leader Jessica Goff, to learn more about how it was all together and how it came all together. But you know what? First, let's take a sneak peek at the film. Yes!
That was amazing. So dreamy and so interesting. I mean, I got lost in that. Jessica, Michaela, congratulations on your nomination. Michaela, I'm going to start with you. How is the team feeling about your hard work being recognized in this way?
We're all extremely excited that we've been nominated for this award. It obviously means so much to us, especially because of all the late nights we worked, all the caffeinated nights, the sleepless nights. In fact, just many nights at the animation school, putting in the time for this project. So obviously it's super awesome that we're getting recognized for all the hard work we put in.
Jessica, as we just saw the short film, I mean, we had to applaud it because it really, you did feel like you got lost in it. And there was something very relatable about it as well. Now, it explores the tense relationship between a brother and a sister and how imagination can play such an important role in actually connecting people and binding people. I suppose that's where the title comes from. But how was the concept for the story developed?
Yeah, so originally when we started, it was of a writer and he fell asleep at his desk and, you know, all these paper things happened and it was a story, but it didn't feel very relatable. So we decided to pull it back to siblings and our target audience was a younger group because, you know, it's important to learn problem-solving strategies when you're younger. And, you know, once you are able to overcome arguments, then that's when the magic really happens.
And we can definitely relate to it. I mean, I have an older brother, a younger sister, and we've definitely had lots of sibling rivalry, if I can put it that way. Now, Michaela, what was the approach to blending the real world of the siblings and that of the imaginary world of the storybook?
Okay, so when it comes to pre-production, there's always, you look for your references and everything. And as a group, we really loved the look of like a studio, which is very stop frame animation sort of look and feel. So basically how we decided to also convey our story is because it's obviously a short film about the magic of reading and also the siblings and all of that sort of stuff. Having the paper world be made out of paper, seeming like the story actually came out of the book, and then having the real world life to still kind of be in a claymation style. And yeah, so just mainly our influence was Kubo as well, box trolls. So there was a lot of inspiration, but mainly it was just trying to make the magical world look completely different to the real world.
I love Kubo and the box trolls. Those are amazing, and I could tell the influence, but at the same time there was a real unique flavor from two very South African and very, very talented individuals. So Jessica, the team spent, I believe it was like a full school year putting a 3.5-minute film together. It just shows you we need to pay a lot of respect to the film industry. So what were some of the challenges and lessons you learned along the way?
So one of the big things was how important your pre-production is and how it's important to work out all of, you know, the things that you want to achieve in the film, because the second you have an issue, it sort of trickles down to the bottom and you have to try and fix it at the end, which is quite a challenge. And then also making sure that you put people to their strengths and what they're good at, and then things can run really smoothly. And also just, you know, life happens. So unexpected things can happen and you need to problem solve on the spot to not miss deadlines and so on.
Very important. Now, I have a question for the both of you. The film has garnered success at the My Hero International Film Festival for Best College Animation. What would it feel like for you guys to bring the SAFTA home to your team and to the animation school?
Honestly, it would be amazing putting in all that hard work that we put in last year, making those sacrifices, working late, like Michaela mentioned earlier. You know, it just makes it all the more worth it.
It would mean a lot to us to win this award. Like Jess said, it just really does validate all the hard work we've put in and the countless hours that we've put in. It just means so much to us. And I think the main focus is that I think even as a team, it's just important and it's awesome that viewers are taking as much of an interest and passion in it as we do.
Well, I just would like to say, from Zoe and I and the entire Expresso team, congratulations to you, Michaela, to you, Jessica, and your team who has worked tirelessly on such an accomplishment and something that binds us all, like binding adventures. So all the best, and also nominated in Best Student Film SAFTA category that is also massive. So we want to salute the excellence of upcoming talent, just like you two and your team, and of course celebrate the South African icons as well in the 15th SAFTAs award ceremony this Saturday, 22 May, right here on S3, and follow all the news using the hashtag SAFTAs, and good luck to Binding Adventures.
Holding thumbs.
Only you can make my day.
is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3, and we want you to open up to something very, very important, and that's parenting advice. Now, we all want our kids to be generous and giving, but it doesn't come naturally to them. And this morning, parent coach Laura Markowitz joins us to talk about how parents can help their kids learn the act of sharing. So important because even us adults don't even get it right sometimes. So
that is true.
We all need some assistance. Laura, welcome to Expresso. It's so good to see you again.
Well, thank you. Lovely to be here.
I think sometimes, and you know, we always say this, we get so self-absorbed with the parenting advice, because I'm going through this right now. My little one is 2 years old, so everything he says is mine. Laura, it's mine. It's his. Why is it so difficult for toddlers to share?
Oh, absolutely. I think you've just said it exactly as it is. We see that at 2 years old, these little toddlers, they're not exactly the most self-regulated, calm, able to manage their emotions, their feelings, their bodies. So they're very much kind of impulsive. It's very much, I see it, I want it. Their favorite words, exactly as you said, Jamie, it's mine, my, I do it my way, me, no. Those are the words we're hearing a lot. So it's actually developmentally very difficult for toddlers to learn to share. And I think that doesn't mean we don't still encourage them to do it. Absolutely we do. But it's helpful for us to know it's pretty normal in terms of where they are developmentally for them to learn this thing of sharing. And that's what we're wanting. We're wanting them to be generous and sharing it. So it's quite hard for us. So it's important to just contextualize that it is quite a hard thing for them to take on at that age.
So when can we expect to see some sort of growth in generosity and empathy in kids? Is there an age we can expect? Because I know that this kind of runs through for a long time in terms of even the teens don't even share. So is there a time that you can say that empathy grows within those young kids?
So, you know, as with most things, it's always very nice if you can just see it on the calendar and go, okay, there, on that third birthday, they're suddenly going to become sharers or sleepers or whatever we're waiting for them to become. We wish we could do that. So, but generally around the age of 3, we do start seeing that kids are kind of getting the concept of taking turns, of sharing. They're starting to take it on board. They're not necessarily liking it. So it's not just because they're starting to conceptually get it. They're not necessarily absolutely okay with it. So it's very much important where we are as parents in terms of how we are supporting and encouraging them to learn this skill. That, as you say, doesn't just come out of nowhere. It's something that we've got to be helping them with. So I'd say around the age of 3, we start seeing them taking those things on board.
And then, Laura, obviously the big question right here is, what should we as parents do when we are trying to teach our kids the principle of sharing?
Yeah, so I mean, firstly, we don't want to diminish their difficult experience of sharing. So it's things like the empathy that we always talk about, things of, I know it's very hard to share your things. It's so hard to wait your turn. We don't want to be guilting them and shaming them. You know, if they're finding it hard to share, we don't want to be saying things like, you're a horrible little girl to not be sharing your things. We don't want to be doing that. Rather, we want to be actually respecting them. And so saying things like, we know it's very hard for you to share, but also for them to know that, whoops, we've just lost an earpod, sharing my earpod. But we also want to be respecting them. So if we know it's hard for them to share, then we're warning them. Before kids are coming around to play with them, we're saying, remember, we've got to share our toys. If there are 5 things that you find it's very hard for you to share, your special things, why don't we take them and put them away somewhere safe so you don't have to share those things, but the other things we'll need to share. So we respect that some of the things, their very precious things, might be very hard for them to share, their favorite things. Also, we want to ensure that they're not always the giver. So what I mean by that is, you know, if they're playing and they're drawing a picture and Cole's drawing with the green crayon and Jamie walks in and says, I want that green crayon, I'm taking it, and grabs it. That as a parent, I'm not just immediately taking it out of Carl's hands and giving it to Jamie. I'm saying, you know, hang on a second. Carl was still drawing with it. You're just going to have to wait your turn. And so we hold that. It's not that we're just grabbing it out of Carl's hand straight away. And also to remember, if your child is struggling with sharing, we can, as parents, be quite anxious about play dates and getting them together with other children. Be careful of avoiding those sorts of things. Keep those things going because that's how they learn. So we've got to just be facilitating and be around to maybe help facilitate things as we have to do with play dates and as we have to do with siblings. So particularly this stuff comes up with siblings as well. And just a word of warning around that is just to be careful around constantly deferring to the baby. So, you know, give it to your brother, Shane, he's only a baby. Shane, don't be horrible, you're much bigger than him, you must give it to him. Just remember that's still very hard, even if you are the big brother or the big sister. So those are just some of the things that we can try and hold as parents when we are trying to teach our kids this difficult but wanted skill of sharing and caring and being generous in the world.
Laura, thank you so much for the pearls of parenting wisdom thus far. We do have a part 2 coming up with Ryle very, very soon, where you can get to share so much more. So do stay with us as Laura, our parenting coach, has lots more for you. And I did mention this, to share, including a green crayon right here on Expresso. So stick around.
Clover cheese is for those who love life, where everything falls into place and melts away our cares, adding joy and stretching our imagination. Clover, for the love of cheese.
Made with love by Clover.
Ah, yes, indeed. It's all about sharing, and this is a recipe that we know the entire family is just absolutely going to love, and you can share it with the whole gang, of course. Now, we're talking about a spanakopita stuffed chicken, which is a savory and delightful cheesy version of spanakopita without the phyllo pastry. Now, it makes for a great midweek family meal, and here to show us how is Grace Stevens in the building.
Thanks for having me.
How are you doing this morning?
I am so well,
I'm loving this pink glow, this natural.
Thank you.
It looks
Pink's
good
my
on you.
favorite color.
I love it. I love it. So we're making spiders. What is this?
Spinakoppa.
Spanakopita. What is that exactly? I'm not too familiar with it, although it smells and seems like something I am, though.
Yeah, well, I think that it's based loosely on the spinach and feta in a phyllo kind of recipe. So we're doing carb-free today.
Okay,
which
nice.
is, that's always a good change.
Getting
to
a bit shredded, getting the six-pack going in the kitchen.
Well, we try. Okay, we've got a great model going here, so we try.
So where do we begin with this?
So I'm going to wilt my spinach.
Right.
So that's quick, dry pan.
The pan's obviously on, I'm assuming,
yes,
although there's no oil in there.
Nice.
It is warm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Warm pan, no oil. You just want to wilt that, and it wilts quite quickly. There's always the joke that you put this much spinach in and you get this much out. So expect that. Can you start on my chicken breasts?
Surely. What do you want me to do?
I want them butterflied. So I just want to open them up so that I can stuff them, and then I'm going to put them in the baking
and
tray.
get all the good stuff in.
Absolutely.
All right, let me get onto that while you're busy on your side over there.
Up my eggs here for a second while can you smell that? I just love spinach.
Oh yeah,
really
I'm getting a whiff
nice
of that
and
now.
healthy.
It's coming alive. While I am butterflying this, I've got to ask you, so what is the next step of this recipe? Because imagine you're now no longer needing to make the pastry, of course.
No, you don't. So we're going to use the chicken. I'm going to stuff the chicken, and then we are going to put it in the oven for about 25 minutes until it's cooked all the way through. So it's a really nice, quick meal to make for your family.
Yeah, it sounds
so while this is wilting here, I'm going to mix up. I've got my eggs here, some cream cheese, so my Clover cream cheese.
And in that wilt, what exactly are you kind of trying to look out for in the final product there? Do you want it to be all like, how's the word, not crunchy anymore?
No, I don't want it to be crunchy anymore. It is going to cook a little bit in here, and it doesn't take much cooking, but you just do want to get kind of all that liquid that's in there out so that it starts looking like pap. Is pap a good thing? So some garlic.
I'll take it.
Garlic goes in there. Garlic and spinach are absolutely perfect. Season it with pepper and salt.
Anything with garlic's going to be good, of course. And I love the fact that I didn't even mention the spinach. I mean, hero ingredient on top of the hero ingredient that we have here with the feta and with clover is the fact that it's Popeye's favorite as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Lots of iron in it. So
Yes,
it's
there
really
we
good.
go.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think you should have spinach at least 2 or 3 times a week. Really good way to get all that iron in there.
Good
And then, of
beans
course,
on
my
top of it
clover
too.
feta. Crumble that in there. Oh,
It's looking good.
I'm a big cheese fan. Are you a big cheese fan?
I know, cheese is like the devil. I can't say no to it as well sometimes.
Absolutely.
It's always on your shoulder. Put some more cheese on.
Absolutely. So
But it's looking good, and I'm thinking now, just looking at the ingredients as well, you definitely are right when it comes to like that carb-free health. I mean, you've got some vitamins and stuff coming through from the egg as well. You've got the feta providing some good protein, potential probiotics in there as well. We've got the iron from the
from the spinach?
spinach, yes. I was going to say the feta from the spinach. And then we've got our chicken over here, which is a great protein source at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice and lean. There's not much fat in this meal as well, which is really great. So not only are we reducing the carb intake, but the fat is very, very limited here. I mean,
And
obviously
you
coming
can
from
choose the fat that you want to do. You can use some butter, or you can use olive oil on top of your chicken. Won't you just season the chicken
Just
there?
by the way, I'm not...
Those are perfect.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely perfect. What you want is to open it up and then it to be an even thickness. And I think you've got that.
I got
so
close to
that's
that,
good.
Mzansi.
So season it quickly, and then I want to put my... Oh, look at this filling.
Oh, that's looking good. So that's the good stuff that's going to go inside of this, right?
Yes.
All right, that is looking good indeed. And then on top of that, it gets a bake. Is it still going to kind of stay moist inside, or does it
Absolutely,
kind of cook up
and this
after
will
that?
help to keep it, because you've got your cheese in here, you've got your spinach is going to steam a little bit in there. Oh,
Look at that.
wow, look at that.
And at the same time, I'm thinking so cool for portion sizes, because everybody gets a chicken breast and everything else goes with that.
This is what I'm saying, and this you can make ahead, keep it in the fridge, and then just fry it, just pop it in the oven.
As soon as you get home.
As soon as you get
quick
home.
10 minutes, pop it in.
Absolutely. So this is going to go
look
in
at
my
that.
oven dish. I really have stuffed this to the tilt, but look at that.
Beautiful.
A little bit of olive oil or some butter, as we discussed, whatever fat, because we don't want this to dry out, and we just want to get a little bit of color on that, so a little bit of that. That goes in for 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and 180 degrees, and there you go.
Boom.
Dinner is
Voila,
served.
dinner is served. Obviously, you can get this recipe inspiration at expressoshow.com. It's that simple. We literally cooked it up and did it in 5 minutes. Obviously, you've got to pop it in the oven. But I think for the whole family, when it comes to sharing, get some chicken breasts, get your hero ingredients. And I think it's going to be smiles for the rest of the fam out there.
Good
Boom,
job.
Good job. Check out the recipe recap if you want to find out more and get the family full of smiles.
Made with love by Clover. Only you can make my day.
opening up with S3 here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Time to get into a very important conversation, and it's all about reading. Now, reading introduces children to worlds where they're able to see and believe in new possibilities for themselves. But the heartbreaking reality is that only 2% of South Africa's children's books are published in local African languages.
So to chat more about how this reality impacts our children, biliteracy teacher and translator Xolisa Guzula joins us with Cadbury's Dairy Milk's equity lead, Langa Kanyile, to tell us more about the initiative Cadbury Dairy Milk is launching to help change this by igniting a love of reading in children's home languages. So important. Welcome to our couch. It's lovely to have you.
Thank you very much, Carl.
Was the research and this particular reality when it comes to home languages, did that drive a passion in you to say that this needed to be done?
It is not the research that drove my passion. It is not the research into pearls,
yes,
because it came later, and I've always been doing this work since 2001. We recognized much earlier that there was something missing in the education of Black African language-speaking children,
yes,
because what happens is that teacher training takes place in English in higher education institutions, and the people who teach these teachers, they are English or African-speaking South Africans. So little attention was paid to African languages, and then books were not published because in an English-dominated world, we believe that literacy equals English. So for a long time, books were not published in African languages, and teachers were not trained in the languages that they have to teach in school. So what happens when they are in school, they translate their English training into isiXhosa, and it doesn't work.
Of course, but things are about to change. And Langa, that's why you are here. Why do you think that Cadbury Dairy Milk has taken on this social issue to create more African language stories that are, again, easily accessible to all?
Absolutely, Jenny. So, I mean, Cadbury Dairy Milk, if you trace our history as a business, we've always been a company that has been concerned about social impact and making a difference in the communities that we serve. Over the past few years, we've showcased the generosity of South Africans through several initiatives that go back to our children in terms of tools and materials to aid development. Now there's a massive literacy crisis in South Africa, and we want to try and help where we can to make the biggest impact by creating more contemporary children's stories available in all African languages. And we hope that doing so can help spark a love for reading and create a culture of reading. And that is why we've embarked on this 3-year initiative, the Cadbury Read to Succeed initiative.
This just makes my heart warm.
Right?
I really think it's so important. You know, I feel like this is such a powerful thing. And I know in 2016 there was that survey, and we go back to the research, but this is the one that shocked me most, is the fact that only 2%, you know, of these books are in languages that individuals understand, local languages. Mm-hmm. And that's quite shocking if you think about it. And you, as a biliteracy teacher, early development-wise, I think it's important to understand what this means for a child who sits in front of a book that's in English, who is naturally Xhosa. How does this affect their development?
If children are not read to in their home languages, then they struggle to understand what is being said, because English is not really the home language of those children. They can't speak it, and the parents cannot speak it, and we know that learning happens the most when parents interact with their children in the language they understand. Then they have to go to school, and there are no books in their African languages. So that stunts their creativity, that stunts their language development, and it's difficult for them to start to read and write in a language they don't understand, because then they can't communicate that. And in many of our schools, when children are learning in a language they don't understand, they are silenced and they appear as if they don't know anything, yet they know it, they just can't express it in the language that is being used in the classroom. And I think we need to understand that there's a much bigger problem in our system, a system that expects that everybody will be English and must speak good enough English, and if they don't, they are deficient. And yet there's much more that's involved in children learning to read. It's not just about seeing somebody on television speaking English. It's about what can you do with your child in your home in a language that you understand. Reading, as in focusing on the written word, needs to build on the oral language literacies that children have, to show them that what you tell as in storytelling, is a story that you can write and read again.
It's absolutely beautiful, this whole concept. And I know, Langa, from your side, there is a massive drive here, massive support for building a love for reading. From a Cadbury Dairy Milk perspective, what are you hoping to achieve through your initiative?
Well, we're aiming to publish a generous glass and a half or 1,500 new storybooks for kids in their own languages by 2023. So, 500 new African stories by the end of this year. And really, Carl, we can't write all of these stories on our own. So we've partnered with Nali Ali, who's a national reading for enjoyment program that works to spark children's potential to storytelling and reading. And you'll see in the weeks ahead, we'll be calling on all South Africans to help in as well, just one word at a time. One of the issues that we uncovered as we were going through this process was that some of the words don't exist in our African language. Simple words. I mean, what is fourth industrial revolution in Zulu, right? And then we really are asking and calling on South Africans to help us create these words and share these words and share their love for the beauty of our African languages, so that we can all come together as a nation to start to rewrite the narrative around our peoples and our children and communities.
Langa, Tulisa, I want to say thank you so much for doing this. I think just creating this platform and saying that this is okay, we're allowing our kids to dream big and open a world of opportunities for all of them. So thank you so much for letting us in on this initiative that you and the team at Cadbury has been doing for us.
Thank you.
Now, of course, for you at home, you can find out more about how Cadbury Dairy Milk aims to ignite a love for reading amongst children across South Africa by making stories in their own language more accessible. All you can do is visit www.cadbury.co.za and follow at Cadbury Dairy Milk SA on Facebook or at Cadbury_SA on Twitter and Instagram, and use that hashtag #glass&a-half.
Oh, thank you so much. Such valuable information and such awesome initiatives when it comes to dreaming and seeing out those kids' futures. Now, earlier in the morning, we were connecting with our certified parent coach, Laura Markovitz, and she was talking about how parents can better teach their children the principles of sharing. And we're continuing that conversation with her right now. And just making sure you're still on the line, Laura, you still with us?
I'm still here.
It's so good to have you. Now, you're obviously chatting to Carl and Jamie a little bit earlier, and one thing I believe they didn't get to touch on was the question of what is it that you would need to necessarily do. Let's say your kid is kind of not sharing in a public situation, right? So the scenario is that you may be in a shopping center or at a party and your kid doesn't want to share. How do you actually then deal with that situation without, I mean, it can get a bit embarrassing, I'd imagine, and you don't want to cause a scene, but what do you actually do and what's the best way to deal with that situation?
Yeah, so I mean, I think, our kids, we often see our kids as a reflection of us. And if they are not sharing and if they are not doing the things that we would like them to do and to be seen to be doing, they can often feel embarrassing, and we can feel like failures, like we're not getting it right, and that, and especially when it's being witnessed by other people, that brings up so much for us. So exactly, you hit on embarrassing. You feel a bit shamed. So you often, as parents, our kind of reaction level kind of spikes up 500 levels because we are feeling so stressed. So we can often get even angrier with our child. We can sort of lose it with them, and we can amp up the actual experience of things. So just to normalize for us that feeling as parents that we get when our children aren't behaving the way that we'd ideally want them to behave. That's very hard for us. So I always say to parents, just take a deep breath. Know that this is normal. Know that you're not alone. You are not the only parent in the world who's having a child who's not wanting to share their toys or their crayons or whatever it is. Just to take that into perspective and take a deep breath so that you are better placed to respond to your child. And then whatever's happening, you're going to have to respond to it as is necessary. So it might be saying out loud to the people around, sure, Johnny's having a very difficult time sharing at the moment. He's really struggling to share at the moment. He's finding this very hard. we're going to need to go outside for a little bit until he calms down. Or we help him to share his things. So we might say, okay, you know, he's really struggling to share the stuff. I'm going to give him 10 more seconds to play with it, and we can count to 10, and then it's going to be whoever's turn next. And then we actually sit with them and we say, did you hear what mommy said? We're going to count to 10, and then we're going to hand it over. And it's very hard for you to share. So we facilitate and we help. But my starting point is always with us. If we better placed to respond to things by taking that deep breath, by putting our hands on our hearts and knowing, this is hard, this is embarrassing, and it feels exposing, we're better placed to respond to it, particularly in a public setting.
Yeah, it sounds so much that communication is really such an effective actioning tool to kind of use in these situations. And what you're saying when it draws back to the parent, I think is so important. So from your perspective, how important is role modeling then when it comes to actually sharing in this instant?
So, I mean, role modeling with anything in parenting, we know our kids, they're watching us, they're seeing what we do, they're like little sponges, they're taking it in. So they need to see that. You know, if we are around the house and I'm saying, give me the salt, or I'm grabbing things from my partner or from one of the other kids in the house, that's what they're seeing. So it's so important that we are showing them that. When we're having to wait for something as well, because often it's that delayed gratification, that having to wait for something, which is incredibly hard for us as adults and as for kids particularly hard. So for them, that's really, really hard, and they want to just do it. So we've got to say, very hard for me to wait my turn. I've got to wait. And I'm going to stand here and I'm going to wait, and I'm going to breathe, or I'm going to sing a song, or I'm going to do something to keep me busy while I'm waiting. And then if I've waited and I've got to, there, I've got the thing that I was waiting for, even though it was very hard to wait. So absolutely, role modeling is always important, that they're kind of seeing what we're doing. They're learning from it all the time.
Okay, Laura, look, I feel like I'm learning, and I think Mzansi is too. So let's just nail this and make sure that we are on board with you. Let's put this into practice. So if I could throw a scenario your way once again, because I think this is how best we also learn. If we find two kids fighting over a toy and we approach the situation, what do we do in that moment?
It sounds like approaching this crime if we approach tentatively. And I think it's fair to say. So if we are there and we've actually witnessed two kids fighting over a toy, again, it's going in there and going, wow, we're having a really hard time sharing this toy. If I can see that one of the kids had the toy first, then I'm going to say, Jane had the toy first, so we're going to give it to her, and she's going to play with it for a little bit, and then you're going to have to wait your turn. And it's like I was saying earlier, when we chatted earlier this morning, you know, it's not to immediately take it away from the child who initially had it, because fairness is incredibly important to children. It's important to all of us. So we've got to remember fairness. They feel it. If we want them to become generous in the world, then we want to hopefully get them to voluntarily share, more than just forcing them to share. So in a scenario like this, we want to help them say, you know, she's going to play with it first. Jane had it. She's going to give it. We're going to give her a few minutes to play. And when she's ready, she's going to give it to you. And the child who doesn't have it might be crying and very upset. So we're going to have to hold them. We're going to have to say, very hard to share. I know you've got to wait your turn. If Jane then refuses to give up this toy for however long, then we're going to have to step in and say, you know, Jane, you've had it for a long time. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to play with it for a little bit longer, and we're going to count to 10, and then it's going to be John's turn. So we might have to facilitate that stuff a little bit as we're doing it. But just to remember, fairness is important to them. We're not just trying to just grab. And if the toy becomes this absolutely hot item that keeps being a problem, then we might have to say, guys, I can see this is really being very difficult for both of you. I'm going to take this toy away for a while. and let's play with something else. So we might have to step in and do that if it's becoming too hard.
Oh, Laura, I wish I could chat to you the entire day just to prep me for my parenting when it does come through. But I can't thank you enough for this morning. Such useful tips and good advice. I think everybody out there in Mzansi as well is appreciative of you. So thank you so much for sharing this morning. And I believe this process is definitely something that a child can use to learn generosity as well as resilience.
Great, thank you. Thanks for the time.
Have a beautiful one.
You too. Cheers.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. You're still hanging us here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3. Of course, we want to connect with you on social media this morning. The show is about sharing, and we know sharing is caring. So we posed this question to you on our Facebook page. What was it?
It's an awesome question, though, because it's asking if anyone's ever shared something with you that's changed your life. And I know there's a lot of things that have happened to you in your life, Jamie. Is there anything that like stands out for you particularly?
I'm trying to think. Oh, my word. You know what happened? So someone actually shared with me water in the Cedarburg. It was a 10-hour hike, and I was dying, and I got lost, and then they shared water with me, so I feel like that changed my life.
He shared life with you.
Yeah, he shared life with me. Let's see what he has to say. So our first one is...
It's coming through, I hope.
And Klantla says, I'd like to thank all the people in my life for supporting me and carrying me through everything. And they like to share different opinions. So that was the first one from Ntlantla. We also have Frank saying, sharing with the less fortunate is the best thing I can do in my life. And a very good morning. Good morning to you, Frank, as well.
And then lastly, we got Asanda Mjoli saying, good morning, my late mother shared everything with anyone in my community. And I think that's where you talk about people being heroes, of course. Shani Moses Galan says, this is a note a friend wrote me when I was feeling down one day, and I still hold on to it dearly. It changes my train of thought each time I look at it. It makes me happy. I really wish I could make out what that note does say, but it looks like it's, here we go. So you were given this life because you are strong enough to live it.
That's beautiful.
Oh, I love that.
Beautiful.
You've been given this life because you are strong enough to live it. I think that's a beautiful message that all of you watching right now can take at home. You really, really, truly are strong enough. And what you need to do right now is go celebrate. And let's go celebrate with Carl and find out what's happening in the latest with the news.
Time to share those details with you, and starting off with two suspects who have been arrested in the Western Cape by the Hawks and officials of the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment in connection with dried abalone valued at almost 10 million rand. Police say they stopped a car on the N7 en route to Malmesbury. The nearly 24,000 pieces of abalone were hidden in 70 containers in a fake compartment under the truck. The two suspects, aged 28 and 35, are to appear in the Atlantis Magistrates Court. The second day of phase 2 of public COVID-19 vaccinations yesterday saw numerous people heeding the call to obtain their immunizations. By last night, some 40,000 over 60s had been jabbed. The health department said the people who received messages had been selected on the basis of who registered first on the government's electronic vaccination data system. More SMSs will go out each day of the week for appointments. People living in old age homes will be prioritized in most provinces. Teams will visit the institutions and register and vaccinate residents on site. Moving abroad, Israel bombarded Gaza from the air, and Palestinian military militants resumed cross-border rocket fire yesterday after a brief overnight lull. The UN humanitarian agency said nearly 450 buildings in the Gaza Strip have been destroyed and badly damaged, including 6 hospitals and 9 primary care health centers. Gaza medical officials say 213 Palestinians have been killed, including 61 children and 36 women, while Israeli authorities say 10 people have been killed in Israel, including 2 children. Moving to Europe now, the Paris summit seeking to boost financing in Africa amid the COVID-19 pandemic yesterday called for the lifting of vaccine patents to allow their manufacture on the continent, citing the slow pace of vaccination as a major problem for the continent. French President Emmanuel Macron staked out an aim of vaccinating 40% of people in Africa by the end of 2021. Macron warned that failing to vaccinate Africans risked allowing potentially dangerous COVID-19 variants to emerge on the continent and then spread across the world. And next, the largest herd of Asian elephants in the Western Hemisphere. The largest herd of Asian elephants in the Western Hemisphere will soon be a reality in a reserve of some 2,500 acres in the American state of Florida. They are all former circus elephants that have been performing for years but are now retiring, where they can wander among their favorite habitats, wetlands, grasslands and forests, and splash around in 11 different waterholes. The White Oak Conservation Refuge in Yulee, Florida is the best scenario for them because they've been raised in captivity and are not able to survive in the wild. The first group of 15 has already arrived in their new environment, and they'll be joined by another 20 within the next few days. Nick Newby, White Oaks' elephant care chief, said, and I quote, "I was so happy to see them explore their new environment. Seeing them swim, taste new plants, adapt to great outdoors for the first time was absolutely incredible. They're such amazing creatures, and now they're in a place where they will definitely flourish." On that positive note, when it comes to elephants, let's take a look at your sporting action right here on Expresso.
Fear sees right off. Fearless sees better car.
Onto your sport we go, and World Rugby and SA Rugby yesterday confirmed that Rugby World Cup Sevens 2022 will take place in Cape Town from 9 to 11 September next year. The 8th edition will feature 24 men's and 16 women's teams. Both the Blitzboks and Imbokodo teams have been included. The qualified teams for the men's event are defending champions New Zealand, with England, South Africa, Fiji, Argentina, USA, France and Scotland. In the women's draw, South Africa will join New Zealand, France, Australia and USA in Cape Town. Now on to football. Premier Soccer League action continued last night with Bloemfontein Celtic coming from behind to beat Chippa United 2-1 at the Sisa Dokashe Stadium. Following the results, Celtic moved up to 10th while Chippa remained in 15th place. In other results, Swallows FC and Stellenbosch played out to a goalless draw, and Baroka FC and their Limpopo rivals TTM also drew 0-0. There'll be 2 PSL fixtures today. Golden Arrows take on TS Galaxy at 3 p.m. and Cape Town City FC face Maritzburg United at 5 p.m. Now staying with football, this time in England, just a few days after Leicester City beat Chelsea 1-0 to be crowned FA Cup champions, Thomas Tuchel's men got revenge in the EPL. To boost their top 4 hopes, the Blues recorded a 2-1 win over the Foxes at Stamford Bridge to move up to 3rd in the standings. In other results from last night, Brighton stunned champions Manchester City 3-2, and Manchester United were held to a 1-1 home draw by relegated Fulham in their penultimate league match of the season. There will be 6 Premier League matches tonight. Tottenham, West Ham, Arsenal and Liverpool will all be in action, and that'll be from 7 p.m. That's a wrap of your sporting action for now. Let's take a look at the weather. Here's Jamie Lee.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wasty, but also thank you to all of you for sharing your sunrise view with us this morning. It really is a wonderful way to start the day. Now, for your 7 a.m. update, we kick off with this absolutely beautiful photo of the sky scattered with clouds from a regular of ours, Verity Bonds Herbert, all the way from Rubik West. Absolutely stunning. Another one came through from Versha Shauka, who also shared this absolutely stunning view of the sun rising over the ocean in her area. Now, of course, if you too would like to be featured in our weather segment, it really is simple. All you need to do is head on over to the Expresso Facebook page to share your photo and also your location with us. We would love to see how your morning starts in your part of the country. Now, while we do enjoy experiencing a sunrise from your part of South Africa, we do have some international viewers tuning in on both YouTube and the Africa channel in the USA. And this morning, we're reporting on the weather from Kinshasa, the capital and largest city of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, with a population of 15 million as of 2021, it is the largest city in Africa. Today, your day ahead will reach a maximum of 34 degrees Celsius with a thunderstorm in spots this morning. In other news as well, more than 90 people are missing after a barge off the coast of the Indian city of Mumbai sank amid the strongest cyclone to strike there this century. At least 19 people have already died. Meanwhile, the Indian Navy said it had rescued 177 of the 270 people on board, and efforts to find survivors were still ongoing. 3 commercial barges carrying some 700 oil workers are stranded at sea in the wake of Cyclone Tauktae, which has battered India's west coast. The Indian Navy has mounted a massive air and sea rescue mission for the missing oil workers, and the search is being hampered by giant waves of almost 8 meters and low visibility. High winds have ravaged coastal areas, uprooting some 40,000 trees and electricity poles. Now, the storm has hit the region amid a devastating second wave of COVID-19 that has overwhelmed Indian hospitals, and our thoughts and prayers are with them. Right now, here is a second look at what you can expect with regards to the temperature today, South Africa. We kick it off with Polokwane. Do expect a low of 8 today, peaking at 24. If you're out and about in Mbombela, expect a low of 13 and a high of 28. Pretoria, 10-22. Johannesburg with a low of 9 and a high of 21. Mahikeng, for you, it is 10-25. Klerksdorp, for you, it is 9-26, and then Kimberley ranges from 13-26 today. Bloemfontein, 7-24. Richards Bay ranges from 18-28, and then Pietermaritzburg coming through with a low of 12 and a high of 29. South Africa's playground at Durban ranges from 18-27. Mthatha, 12-13. East London, for you, it is a minimum of 21 and a maximum of 31. Cradock, 13-28. Gqeberha, 15-24. George, for you, your minimum is 12 today, peaking at 22. The mother city, Cape Town, ranges from 14-19. Worcester, 11-25. Sutherland, 6-20. And last but definitely not least, Uppington showing off today with a low of 15, peaking at 30. Whatever you do on this Wednesday, remember to keep it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Thanks a lot, Jamie Lee. Now, yesterday we saw Thabiso do his thing, stretching it out, but it's a different day today and something new.
Yeah, something new indeed. We've got Ian in the building now. Thabiso's meeting the man that's been singing since the age of 5. And I'm wondering what this voice is going to sound like, because that's a lot of years of practice. But let's find out right now with Thabiso. He's live. Let's check it out.
Jamming into your Wednesday morning. Good morning, family. Uncle Tabzi reporting live once again from Gqeberha out in the Eastern Cape. And let me tell you something about Gqeberha, is that when we pop up here and we take Expresso on the road, all the stars of the area come out to shine. And one star shining right next to me this morning is, ladies and gents, Ian Roux, the very best in vocals from Gqeberha. Ian, good morning.
Uncle Tabs, how are you doing?
So good. Thank you so much for having us here today.
Thank you for coming to the greatest city in the world.
And listen, this is not the first time you've said this to me. You're saying it twice. If you say it twice, then it means it's true. Well, listen, Ian started his music career at the age of 5. He's been singing and making magic ever since. Back in 2019, many of you might recognize him as the top 5 contestant on a singing competition. And here he is today after releasing his own debut single, Never in a Million, to speak to us and connect with us in the most beautiful way and share all of that magic with us.
Yes, sir.
So, Ian, it's been a long time. 5 years old is when you started, but what led you to music?
To be honest with you, it was my mom. You know, back in the day, my mom, I don't know if you've ever heard of these strong female women.
Every single woman is a strong
100%
woman.
100%. And she was such a strong person. She has a strong personality that she beat me into singing.
That is a first. I have never heard of anything like it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my mom beat me into trying to learn how to cook bap, which I still haven't mastered. But clearly your mom did a better job than my mom at doing that, because now you sing, and you did a good job at that. And then from there?
So the passion just grew. I used to sing with my dad. He was a pastor.
Yeah.
And he would go to different congregations, and we would go and minister, you know, in song to the congregation. And that's exactly what led me to this passion that I have for music.
Which I think is absolutely fantastic, because I think your journey certainly does connect with the type of music that you make today. Anyone that's ever heard Ian LaRoux's music will tell you for free that his music is all about uplifting and encouraging and inspiring. Let's talk about your style of music and the sound that you've been able to find for yourself, that you sort of have adopted now and we can hear today.
So the style, like you said, is uplifting.
Yeah.
It is all about, so because of the background of being that singer in church and ministering to people in church, I think that kind of influenced where I am now, just to be kind of inspirational with my lyrics, with my singing, and then obviously the people that I've listened to, the musicians, have influenced my style of singing as well.
There's a lot of inspiring content in the music that you make, and I think so much intention that comes with it. Never in a million, some brand new music. You're talking about it this morning, but you're also going to be performing that particular song and two others for us this morning. Let's talk about this single and what this means for you coming out of COVID-19 pandemic, which had the entire music industry collapsed, really.
Definitely, 100%. So the story behind the song, Never in a Million, is based on my mom and dad's relationship, love relationship. It's quite an interesting one. So how he asked my mom out was something that I've never heard in my whole entire life.
You're gonna have to share that.
So, so he had a little music group, and then she was a singer. So both my dad and my mom are singers. And he asked, do you want to be part of this, this group? And so she said, yeah, why not? And 3 weeks into rehearsing with the group, he said to her, he turned to her and said, Zita is the name, I love you, and in 5 years' time, will you be my wife?
In advance. It's like a lay-by. Honestly, it's like a lay-by of a wife. Book now while stocks last in advance. I love the story. It's absolutely fantastic. Well, listen, we're catching up with Ian LaRoux here in Gqeberha. Connect with us on Facebook, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Let us know which of Ian's music you're most looking forward to hearing this morning. And of course, we're going to be talking about his performance coming up on the 29th of May here. It's called the Feeling Good series, which is happening here at the Garden Roof Bar. You want to make sure that if you are in the Gqeberha area that you are a part of it, but we'll chat about all of that and hear all these good jams about Will You Marry Me in 5 years' time in just a bit.
Ian LaRoux in the building!
Yes, man! I love that place. I really want to go there. So, Tabiso, thank you very much for crossing so beautifully in Gqeberha, along with Ian. There's so much more coming from the area. I want to go visit there so bad.
We'll be there soon, don't worry.
Indeed. And he'll take you there later on Expresso. Stay there.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
New haircut, who dis? It's JP Sebastian with the movies. I know I'll notice a haircut. You look fantastic, my friend. Sharp. You do.
All of you get, like, I don't know, some sort of group text from my mom, right? Like, say something nice about his hair.
No, it's...
He hates his decisions.
Not at all. Just said the compliment. Okay, yes. Anyway, but no, but it's always good to have you along, man. And the thing is, we've got some great movies coming out. And when you bring me documentaries, I get extremely excited, especially if we're going to start off with one from David Attenborough.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk documentaries because obviously we're still on some sort of high after my octopus teacher did.
Indeed.
So, you know, spectacularly at the Oscars. I don't know how true that news image is there. That's Long Street in Cape Town. I think they've taken some liberties.
Yeah.
So the year the Earth changed is one of these things where they try to take some sort of silver lining out of the horrible, difficult lockdown and pandemic that we've been through, which is to say that while we were locked up, animals were wilding out, and whole populations rebounding.
Yeah.
So the documentary, which is supposedly from the handful of people who have had the opportunity to see it thus far, this might be out on some sort of streaming service later. We don't know whether this might be out on big screen. Hey, there's Long Street in Cape Town. That's Japan. Never mind that. But so it jumps all from country to country to find that whether it's jackass penguins, whether it's deer in a tiny Japanese town, whether it's looking at the Himalayas, look at that photograph, ridiculous, like from a blank sheet of like pollution to actually being able to see the mountains for the first time in years.
I see. I see.
It's all these changes where the documentary is almost trying to be like some sort of proof of concept that if we did just somehow manage our relationship with nature, maybe we give nature a break every, third weekend.
Okay.
Like these So, I mean, apparently it has enough of an attempt of, laying out solutions. We could try this, we could try that, we could try this. But lockdown is exemplary for, we all did something uniformly and we all agreed to something uniformly, and as such, nature benefited from that. That should be a very constructive feeling we can take with us, and I'm sure that the documentary will make all of us feel sort of like constructive in some way, like we actually can have some sort of impact on climate change.
Yes, we can. And I mean, that was very, very real last year. If you look at how the human race almost receded, sometimes nature comes forward and say, hey, we are here too, which is actually quite beautiful.
So to give you other crazy examples, apparently even birds are singing new notes that scientists have never heard before because now there's no more vehicle traffic. So now different frequencies are available to birds. Now they're breeding more because they're finding each other. Whales are apparently feeding as far as they like because they can call their baby from far away because they know cruise ships.
Wow.
Insane things that are just changing even for marine biologists, scientists, whoever. Like, they have to go rewrite whole chapters to be like, okay, that animal does that now. Amazing stuff. So
next documentary, I mean, that was an awakening, but we move on to Awaken. So this is a documentary that looks beautiful, shot in 4K and shot apparently in 30 countries.
Yeah, across 5 years. And it's very much in the vein of its two executive producers, one being Terrence Malick, who I over-mention on TV. If ever you want to sound like a movie smart bum, if you want to sound like a complete nerd about film, you go, yes, I know, Terrence Malick, Badlands, Tree of Life, Lesso. Tree of Life is for plebs. Who watches Terrence Malick's Tree of Life? Philistines. So he executive produced it, gave the money for it, but he is a master at what he does. Godfrey Riggio as well, who does what's referred to as the Cutsy series. If you want to do a movie, if you want to watch a movie that feels like doing drugs, basically, you don't need to do drugs ever. Just watch Godfrey Riggio. It's these winding, meditative attempts at creating a narrative from the planet, from existence. So there are no characters, there are no particular storyline, there's no direction necessarily, except these vivid, beautiful images using new technologies, new cameras in ways that we haven't seen before from, like I said, these two classic directors who probably would have loved to have that kind of technology in the past, now given to their second unit director, Tom Lowe, to like you said, 30 countries, 5 years, almost create some sort of postcard for extraterrestrials, maybe. Come to Earth. This is what it looks like. This is just the experience of being alive.
Earth tourism, awakening, I like it.
Yeah, so just, thinking of it just as tourism. I hope it has something a bit more to say, but, if it's pretty enough eye candy to look at, then maybe that does the trick for you. Awaken.
Moving on to the next one, I think it's so intriguing that somebody has tried to talk to whales. And let's jump into Fathom. Literally.
So again, just keeping it nature. Was there a documentary when you were a kid that just knocked you out? Like, I watched Blue Planet and I cried.
Yeah, that's exactly. I watched that at the IMAX and it was...
It messed me up.
Wow.
So, your options to mess your kids up with permanently and hopefully make them constructive climate change fighters. Fathom is this amazing story of two scientists on the other side of the world trying to crack whale culture. because in a very real sense, they do have culture. The documentaries, the trailer says, 40 million years they've been working on language while we were still figuring out whether stones are tools or not, kind of thing. So for the first time, scientists are trying to speak back to whales who come up with songs. There's their trends. So whales have hashtags. This is so hard to describe. Watch the trailer for yourself. They don't describe it the way I just did. But songs migrate from ocean to ocean and are different from year to year. We still don't know why they sing. Maybe Fathom will help us figure it out. Didn't want to say Fathom it. But yeah, no date for it in SA just yet. But check out streaming services and most likely documentary festivals and that kind of thing. Looks beautiful. If you love whales, this is up your alley.
Incredible stuff. 3 documentaries from JP Sebastian and more movies to come. In fact, the movie trailers that'll be hitting the cinema very, very soon. So stick around for that. This is Expresso here in S3 as we open up the documentaries, movies, and everything else.
Of course, once you have movies, you need a good snack. And when it comes to university love food, there are few ingredients as popular as the sacred, I'm going to say it, cheese. Our recipe today is tied together with golden, melted and oozing cheese. We're talking about our cheesy, spicy enchiladas, a smoky and spicy tomato mince base, and it is enclosed in soft tortillas. Then, get this, it's going to be smothered with more cheese and baked to perfection. Need we say more, Grace? Need we say more? Because honestly, just everything that's coming out of this kitchen right now is hitting all of those things on my bucket list.
Absolutely.
Beans, mince, spiciness, yum.
This is perfect for this sort of weather. Right. Don't you think? You just want to have comfort food.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So should I get us started?
I want you to get us started, but I'm just like, no, because look at perfection. Okay, yes, get us started.
So I've got some onions. I've chopped them nice and finely and I've fried them up and seasoned them. And then I'm going to put my mince in here. So this is beef mince. You can use pork mince. You could use chicken mince. You can even leave the mince out and use like a soy-based mince or something like that if you want to go for meat-free Mondays or something like that. You fry this all up. And I'm going to add some chili powder. Okay, because you want the heat. Of course you want Mexican food. Mexican food. Smoked paprika, some cumin, which is always good. Definitely. You know, just to bring the flames. And of course,
the garlic that we need right now.
Garlic.
National
this gets cooked down, season it well, and to taste exactly the way you want it. This you could freeze and keep it, and then you can just make up your enchiladas later on. Or you can actually put this in the fridge, come home from work, wrap them up and put them in the oven. Boom. So super quick to do. So I've got it all cooked and prepared here.
It's like that. It's honestly like that TikTok videos. Look there, and then you go boom, and then there. Yeah. That is the result.
Okay, I'm going to add my tomatoes, so nice chopped tomatoes. You will add a little bit of water to this, and then you're going to cook it down. Okay. And then I've got my butter beans. Those go in there.
This is really hitting all the Mexican feels. I remember when I was in Mexico and I had my first enchilada, there was nothing like it. And now just to be able to replicate this, I'm like,
absolutely.
Comfort food.
Isn't that why we cook? Definitely. Because we want to like bring back those memories that we've had. So that's, and those were red kidney beans. So those go in there. Look at that.
I could eat it just like that.
No, absolutely.
Just
I think this
give me a spoon in front of the TV.
You can mix up some pasta. There's a pasta sauce. This goes really, really
great
nicely.
base for everything else.
So, I know you're dying to do this. Let's mix some enchiladas.
Okay, so I'm going to do it in...
So you're going to put one on there. Yeah, you do one there. So we're going to put our filling in
the center.
So in the center, because we're going to roll it up here.
Okay. Make sure that I got everything in. I want to make sure I got the mince.
Absolutely. Oh, doesn't it just smell comfort food?
That paprika and that chili is smelling gorgeous in that.
So roll it up. So roll it up like a cigar. I think from this side. Yeah, from this side. And we're going to put it in a little oven-proof dish over there. You heat up an oven to 180 degrees. Let's make another one.
We can. Certainly, I'm messing because I want to get so much filling in the inside.
I know, you just want to get it in, don't you? Right, so roll that up and then pop it here next to there.
You were a bit stingy with this one, but it's okay. That will be yours.
I was, because I'm kind of thinking
and I'm just messing.
It's fine. It's fine. Right. Leftover filling goes on top.
No ways.
I know. That's why I wasn't worried about how much was going inside.
Because you knew what you were doing.
Absolutely. So this is great party food because you can prepare all of this beforehand, roll them up, put everything in the fridge, and then, you know, you can just take it out and pop it in the oven. You only need 10 minutes in the oven.
Perfect.
Just to make sure that your cheese, so this is my favorite part.
I was going to ask you, would you serve this cold or would you serve this hot?
Nice and sizzly hot. You've got to make sure that this cheese just bubbles and blisters, and then you're A for away.
Can you have my mouth?
I can actually. So that, oh look at that. Can you, oh, all of it.
Just, I don't know why you're doing that now.
So 10 minutes in the oven, that will
pop it
be
in.
really, really nice and bubbly. And then you serve it straight out the oven, nice and warm.
And that goes in.
Okay. You and me, Jamie, in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. I get to eat that enchilada. And I know, Mzansi, you're thinking, where am I going to get my hands on this recipe? Expressoshow.com is where it's at. And that is the end. We have some guac over there. We have some corn that we're serving with that. Some cream cheese.
Some sour cream.
Sour cream.
And then we've put some cilantro on as well. So some coriander. So don't you think that just looks amazing?
Can you look
Are you going to get in?
Can you look at all the camera guys?
Get in
and then,
there.
like, save some for us. Okay. Here we go. And I want to...
Don't forget some beans. Oh, there we go.
Everything. Okay, here we go. This is for you, South Africa.
I can taste it already in my mouth. I don't even have to, because I can smell all the smells.
That was the best thing I've ever had, and it's actually hitting all the feels from Mexico. Expressoshow.com is where you can find it. That was spicy enchiladas. Yummy, everybody. Right now. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. Expresso open up with S3, and a little earlier we chatted about some documentaries that are coming up very soon, which are incredible. And now we go to the silver screen. Of course, this is the movies that are coming out very, very soon. I want to start off with one with you, JP, that it intrigued me. I watched this trailer, and all I could feel was intensity from an actor that I saw in the James Bond movies, now thrown into a really mysterious role.
Also,
it's called Surge.
Cloud Atlas.
Yes.
He was the composer in that. Yeah.
Yes.
What was that? Was that not one of your favorites?
No, it wasn't my favorite from the Wachowskis. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, Cloud Atlas was a bit lame.
It was. Thank you. I'm so glad you. I was so scared to say
my
that.
buddy and I call it loud anus. I'm sorry. That's the level of my critique. It's terrible.
But let's focus on Surge. Hopefully this will surge forward and be better.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Ben Whishaw, who actually does all the work of a sort of one-man show here in this movie. Shame. Carl is beside himself. Rest in peace.
Thank you. Just ignore me. Yeah.
You seem to be losing your marbles in much the same way this character does. He has this monotonous job. He's just a security dude, which there's nothing wrong with. JP just said but it's a job. Shame on me. And it's the grind. It's the monotony and the constant having your boss breathe down your neck. It's the fact that he's forced to live at home with his parents, where the smallest things get on their nerves and thus bundle up into him getting on his nerves and whatever. That wasn't English, nevertheless. I'll move for it. Surge ahead. This leads him to crack eventually. Leads him to snap. and he decides that he's going to sort of, I don't know, break free of his shell by robbing a bank. So the director, whose name is Anil Qureshi, I think.
Oh, yes, just we're going to go with that.
Yeah, sure. Why
Okay,
not?
perfect.
So he made this movie. He got onto the idea when he was doing research on bank robberies. Apparently 60... Neil Carrier, my producer, is telling me because I'm a doofus.
No, you're not. Don't worry.
Thank you, Lena. He was doing some research on bank robberies and found that 60 to 70% of people who rob banks have no criminal record. Have no history of crime. They're just, you know, people possibly trying to grab life by the horns. They thought this was going to help them have some sort of turnaround, some sort of like existential breakthrough. And so Benoit Shaw's character is going through those entire emotions of someone who was being ground down his whole life. This is supposed to, I suppose, feel liberatory, but very similar, I suppose, in a controversial kind of way to, say, Joker, where this is a dude who was being ground down his whole life. Or Falling Down, or I mentioned Fight Club. Anytime, it's usually a white dude for some reason, is in some sort of monotonous job, loses his marbles, and then that's supposed to be like him being set free. Look forward to that. I do, because acting looks all right, but there's no date for it in essay just yet.
Intense, and let's move on to something of a different variety, because I think everybody loves a tale about King Arthur, but no one talks about King Arthur's family like his nephew.
The name is, let's pronounce it,
Gawain.
There you go. So,
there we go.
Everyone knows Lancelot, everyone knows whoever else. It is directed by David Lowery. Thank you, my producer is warning me now.
Yeah, now she's just talking.
Directors have names. She's just reading the synopsis to me. It's very confusing. The Green Knight is an A24 production, and I say that name because when you're a hipster and when you're a full nerd and when you want to mention Terrence Malick, then you say, I watch all the A24 movies. Like, you say it in that voice as well, because you're going to die alone. Because they make great, great movies, whether it's Moonlight to Florida Project to Uncut Gems, which actually feels very similar to Surge. However, we're talking about The Green Knight, and The Green Knight stars Dev Patel, who is Sir Gawain, the nephew to King Arthur, and the story being, I've spoken about this before, but hey, I've got to reintroduce the story because, hey, no one even knows who the original author of this mysterious story is. So King Arthur, every time there's about to be a banquet, this is at Christmas, he says, I need a tale. This is like how you have to go watch a movie before you have dinner.
Yes.
And then Tree Dude comes in, the Green Knight. He's not actually referred to as Tree Dude, I don't know, maybe in the original poetry, and says, any knight who dares come forward to me and cut off my head, I will give you this fantastic axe of mine, which is like legendary, so long as in a year's time you come to me and I get a cut off yours. And everyone goes, dude, you're mull. You realize that when we cut off your head, the deal's broken, the contract's broken. Gawain takes him up on it, lifts up his head, and then he goes, ha, 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 that was a good strike, but come meet me again in a year. So he doesn't actually die. Gawain has to constantly, throughout the entire movie, Dev Patel looking intense through the whole thing for these reasons, has to face the imminent death, the imminent sealing of a contract. So he's got his honor on the line, but he's also scared of dying. David Lowery does these weird sort of mixes. We were referring to Guillermo del Toro.
Yep.
The sense of overhanging horror of being sort of human, I suppose, and not the monster itself being the horrifying thing. So the sense of doom, the sense of impending overness that the character is facing. Really look forward to that one. Sorry if that was such a confused mess, but I definitely will review this.
I understood everything. So here's the challenge. In 20 seconds, Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins, and go.
Okay, you want me to talk about this in 20 seconds? During the break, Carl was intellectualizing G.I. Joe in ways I never imagined. He had a whole like symposium. Yeah, everyone had to gather around and he was like, JP, let's see what he's talking about G.I. Joe. Because you didn't feel like Snake Eyes deserved necessarily his own spin-off story from the way he was told.
The thing is, I feel like there was a lot of quiet, a lot of mutedness. There was a great fight scenes, etc. And I just felt like, oh, suddenly the character comes to the fore. Now we get to see a face, Henry Golding's face, in the Snake Eyes character.
Comes to do justice.
And now I'm very intrigued about the story as to how Snake Eyes came to be this type of guy. Swords, G.I. Joe, and why is he part of G.I. Joe? Who is G.I. Joe? What does G.I. mean? We don't know. Are you G.I. friendly? We don't know. But it's going to be a good movie, right?
If you have some sort of infection, go visit your G.I., I think is the term.
Perfect.
So, look, all I care about is swords. I'm such a nerd. I used to actually do swordsmanship, and they're... No, for real.
Really? Okay.
Yes, Japanese swordsmanship. And there are a bunch of scenes in here where I was just like, oh, no, you don't treat a scabbard like that. Shame on you. But I'm just happy if anything's got people jumping around. It looks like Henry Golding puts in the work. I didn't check his history, but he does seem to have done the training for martial arts, which Shang-Chi doesn't look as exciting for me. But, yeah, this is the one that I'm looking for.
This looks good. It does look good. Thank
July
you so much.
23rd.
He's done swordsmanship, which means that's why he's actually a cut above the rest when it comes to movies. That's why this guy is amazing. So check it out at Surge. You also have The Green Knight. And then, of course, Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins. Those are the movies that we have for you today, right on Expresso on S3.
some great movies coming your way. Can we just take a moment as well, because JP is looking fine.
Yeah, brother,
someone we
looking
met early on,
good.
Ian Leroux, also looking dapper.
Indeed he is, and he's performing right now live, and you're crossing all the way to Gqeberha with Thabiso, and we don't want to miss this one. Let's check it out.
Good morning, Jamie Lee Domberg, South Africa. Let me tell you this, you're in for a treat this morning. We are still coming through to you live from Gqeberha into your homes, Mzansi, as we prepare to be treated some really awesome music. We've got Ian Leroux in the building out here at the Garden Roof Bar in Gqeberha, who's getting ready and on standby to sing this absolutely fantastic love song about when his mum said yes 5 years in advance, and hopefully that inspires you to open up to love. Ian, take it away.
Where did the time go? Why do the memories end up fading? Never in a million. No, never in a million. In a million years, to be somebody just like you at the heart. The reason I want you to keep it. If I take back, don't wanna forget the time that we had. Never in a million. In a million years, there'd be somebody just like you, just like you, just like you. Would there be somebody just like you, just like you, just like you? Never in a million. No, never in a million. Remember the day you called out my name and I came running. You made a promise, one that I would never refuse. Never in a million years, will there be somebody just like you, just like you, just like you? Would there be somebody just like you, just like you, just like you? Oh, never in a million. No, never in a million. No, never in a million. No, never in a million. Where did the time go? Why do the memories end up fading? Never in a million.
Come on, Gqeberha, stand up. This is really just a teaser of what people can expect on the 29th of May, 2021. That's this weekend, right? You're going to be performing at the Feeling Good. Tell us about that.
So it is going to be a jazz concert here at the Roof Garden Bar.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited singing all the classic songs, classic jazz songs.
Well, you're setting the mood
Yes.
already, and you are honestly setting our appetites buzzing for that. So if you are in the PE Gqeberha area on the 21st of May, be sure to check out this man as he performs, and he really rocks the crowd on the day. It's going to be beautiful. Of course, you're going nowhere. If you thought that you were done, no, I've got news for you. Ian Leroux still here on your Feel Good Breakfast show with some more jams coming your way. What did you think of that performance? I loved it. I'm feeling like I'm ready to open up to love and ask somebody to marry me in 5 years' time. But ask them now. What do you think? Expresso Morning Show, SABC3 with the hashtag Expresso Show.
I'm definitely feeling it.
We miss you so much, but I'm so glad that he's finding love out there in Gqeberha.
In his element, of course. And don't go anywhere, because we've got more performances from Ian coming up, and you do not want to miss it. We are bringing in fire, we're bringing all the heat, and we are bringing that espresso. Yes, we'll see you soon.
indulge your desires. Be swept away by the fragrance of dissent. Take the plunge into impulsive spending until you find yourself deeper and deeper, drowning in debt. In this world of temptation, do you want a bank that takes your money, or a bank that takes your money seriously?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
How's that cup of tea,
Thank
brother?
you very much for making me some Nespresso when you're
Always
the
got you,
best.
my man. Always got you.
Honestly, this guy's got very, very good values, okay? And he's got good taste. And I suppose that goes hand in hand. I mean, I must just say. So with the Made with Care campaign, Expresso brings coffee artists and coffee lovers together to launch a movement devoted to positive change and to show that when care comes first, everything is possible. And here is my bestie, George Clooney, and friends, a message for you.
Okay. Oh, you want me to start with this one?
Care is protecting a way of life for generations.
Care is about balancing human activities with nature.
Thinking practically and responsibly. Respetar la naturaleza.
Committing to be carbon neutral by 2022.
Care is taking action on behalf of fairness and sustainability.
Creating resilient communities. Recognizing women's strength. Sentir amor y determinación por lo que hago.
Empowering women everywhere.
Mejorar la calidad de vida de los caficultores.
Making sure farmers have a stable income.
Taking their destiny into their own hands.
El cuidado es proteger a mi familia.
Respecting farmers' craft in every cup.
Care is the difference.
The difference.
The difference.
La diferencia.
Care is bringing passion to everything you do.
Devotion to every detail.
Care is rich cocoa notes with a hint of fruit.
Elevar el sabor único de cada café que creamos.
Care is letting me finish this cup of coffee.
Care is creating a product that inspires the world.
Refining your craft.
Care is a gift and a promise. A gift from those before us and a promise to those who follow.
What else?
Glad you asked. Care is a call to all mankind to help the earth know her name again. Care is a service to our communities, our environments, service to a future where hope truly is eternal because we worked for it, we advocated and built a way to it, and we'll make that journey together.
Care is doing more listening than talking.
Sharing your gifts.
Care is producing something that makes people happy.
Care is supporting our community because together we're stronger.
Care is when a company of environmentalists, parents, socially conscious individuals, people just like you, set out to prove the good that good taste can do.
Proving good taste and good values go hand in hand. Made with care. Hecho con cuidado.
For all we're doing, it's still just a start.
Care is what goes into every single cup of Nespresso.
Nespresso. What else?
He just has that voice where, you know, you just want to like start talking like George Clooney.
Care is putting passion in everything that you do.
Care is Ryle making me a cup of Nespresso and looking at me like that saying, Carl, it's a pleasure to be on TV with you. That's what care is to me. Ryle, from this cup of coffee, Nespresso to you, I say, you are hashtag made with care.
Cheers, brother.
What else?
With every cup, we cultivate some of the finest coffee in the world, celebrating farmers as artists, elevating every coffee moment, because with every cup, precious coffee preserves the beauty of our world. Nespresso, what else?
Let's talk about decor right now. Now, when it comes to decor, care and attention to detail, it plays a very important part in styling a home. And one of the simplest ways to elevate your space is to add a pop of color, texture or pattern. And Woolworths is making it easier than ever with the recently launched range of house rugs online and in selected stores. And this morning, Hertex creative director Katrien Herman van Dijk and buyer from Hertex, Anal Zili, are here to take us through the latest trends and styling tips you need to consider when choosing a brand new rug. Ladies, so good to have you with us.
Thank you.
This morning I was coming into studio and I saw these rugs and I was like, I hope they're not throwing this away because I'm going to take them, and I'm luckily no one's throwing this away. But actually, I just found out that rugs dates back to more than 5,000 years ago, which means it's an ancient piece, a statement piece that, you know, has been incorporated into our homes since back then. Why do you think it's so such a big statement in the house?
Yes, well, that's right. Rugs have been around forever. And 2014 was actually the year of the rug, so rugs made a massive comeback. And the reason is that people are doing more laminate and beautiful wooden floors. So a rug really grounds your setting, and you need rugs to just warm up your house. And you bring rugs in for pattern, texture, color. It's as important as the furniture in the house. So it's really important decor element.
For sure. And of course, we've seen it evolve over the years. Like you said, texture, pattern, shape, sizes. Is there any trends when it comes to rugs in season for this year, maybe?
Yeah, so one of the big trends are nature-inspired, like, for instance, this beautiful rug. We can't get enough of bringing outside inside, so we want to feel that warmth and that element of natural textures. It's all about design. Graphic designs, black and white designs are hot at the moment. It's very neutral, so it goes with any setting in your house. And then obviously the round curved furniture and rugs are becoming very popular now. So everything is softer, rounder, sexier, and the round rugs fit into any beautiful selection in your home.
And there really is something about a rug that just brings it all together. It just gives it that soft space. It really makes the floor look bigger as well, just having this piece of rug in the space. When it comes to choosing a rug, how do you go about doing that?
So firstly, it's important to identify where you want to use the rug. Like, for instance, this rug is actually an indoor-outdoor rug, so it's perfect for outdoor living spaces, but it's also great for indoors if you have children and pets. Yeah. It's the perfect pet-friendly and kid-friendly rug. It's also easy to clean, so you can put it on your lawn, hose it off with water, and you're good to go. Then we have our kitchen runners, which is perfect for hard-working kitchens, but it's also great for bathrooms, a small balcony, an entrance hall, or even next to your bed. And then the round rug, bringing it back to the trend, you just tie it together with round furniture, round tables. It just completes the look.
Is color important when you are buying it as well? To go in with the space? Is that something you should also consider when you are buying?
Absolutely. You can either tone it down with something neutral, or you can make it your statement piece. Like you add your cushions, you can do it the same with your rugs.
So playing around with the textures again.
Yes.
Are there specific stores where you can buy these rugs?
Yes. Woolworths it's in 5 big stores throughout the country, and then it's also online available.
Well, this is how we can elevate our space. Ladies, thank you so much. I think everyone is now going to go and get themselves these rugs just to make sure that their house looks comfortable. For you at home, of course, you can elevate your space with stylish and quality rugs by House, now available at Woolworths, as said. Now, the selection of rugs are only available at the following stores. Now, if you are in the Western Cape, you can find them at Canal Walk, V&A Waterfront, and Willow Bridge, and then in Gauteng at the Eastgate and Sandton City. But you can shop the entire range on the Woolworths app or online.
See life through the cutting-edge designs of metal windows. Every steel or aluminium window and door is custom-made using their Foreman brand systems designed by and exclusive to Metal Windows. In any space, residential, retail, commercial or hospitality, they provide custom solutions to fit the needs of you, their client. Get inspired with their portfolio on metalwindows.co.za, Facebook and on Instagram.
welcome back, you beautiful souls. We're opening up right here on S3 and we are live, bringing you all the hears from Expresso. And we're calling all cheese lovers in the building. Now, if you're looking for a hearty dish to whip up for the fam, our clover cheese and onion pie is what cheese dreams are absolutely made of. And it ticks all the flavor boxes. And of course, we still got Grace Stevens in the building showing us how to get all these warm, hearty meals that we can share with the rest of the family. And this is one that I think is going to definitely tick that box. So what are we doing? Where do we begin?
We're making a cheese and onion pie.
I've never heard of that, to be honest.
You know what? I think anything with cheese, let's go for it.
Like you said earlier, I think no one's going to argue with that.
No, absolutely not. So we're going to start off by making our filling. But what I wanted to do is maybe just cut our topping for us. So I've just got puff pastry, let it defrost out.
You sure you okay trusting me with this, eh?
I do. I trust you with my life.
Okay, so I'm unrolling the pastry.
Yeah. So
I like the fact that all the work is kind of done for you, and to get to this point, I've seen it before. It's a lot of manpower, so I'm loving that we're skipping quite a few steps.
So we just buy some, keep it in the freezer. Always keep some filo pastry and some puff pastry in the freezer.
All right, okay.
We're going to use our little pie dish.
And that's kind of just to make sure that we've got enough space.
And then you're just going to cut around that.
Okay.
There we
I'm
go.
nervous. I've never done this before, just by the way.
Cut around.
You're acting so nonchalant.
Yeah.
So let me just keep a little
Doing
1 centimeter.
such a great job. That is fabulous.
Got this. National TV, no pressure. You can do this, buddy.
Breathe.
Believe in
Don't
yourself.
forget to breathe. There we go.
I think I did it.
Absolutely. So we've got that cut and ready to go because we're going to do that. So that's going to go over that later on. So I'm going to start off with my onions. So I've got some
pan is on, of course. No oil again.
Olive oil.
Oh, we are throwing the oil in this time.
Absolutely. So a little bit of olive oil goes in there. And then some sugar, that just gives it a nice caramelization, salt and pepper. We're going to put that on afterwards, right?
Oh, sorry, I got so excited. I've never done this before.
Don't worry.
Okay,
You know,
we'll do that later.
I love the enthusiasm. I'm just going to go for that, okay? And some thyme, cheese and thyme. A great combination.
Time and time again, I cannot argue with that.
Ooh, oh, doesn't it just, I've got some clover tusses and got some clover cheddar, which is a great combination because you've got the sharpness of the cheddar, the smoothness of the tusses.
I like that.
And they go together quite nicely,
Nice.
So
You're so true and correct about this. Like, this is such a perfect cheese pairing.
It is.
Smiling and I'm like, wow. Even just on toast, I'd be like, yeah, this is working.
Ooh, making a foodie out of you.
Nice.
So green and red peppers go in. Of course, you can put some mushrooms for that one that I prepared earlier. I put some mushrooms in. And anything that you kind of like or your family likes, just throw in.
So this is where you can get creative, put your favorites in, throw in lots of color in as you can as well. I love eating a rainbow.
Color. I mean, that's what we're looking for. We want to eat with our eyes first. So I'm going to leave this on. Oh, I love that. Look at that. Makes colors and food make me happy.
No, it's glowing, it's alive, it's ready for the belly.
Are you ready for this?
I am. So what's happening next?
So if you can crack those 2 eggs into there and then just give them a little bit of a whip. And I've got my prepared. You're on the ball today.
That in there. We're keeping the yolks as well, right?
Yes, everything's going in. So this is a really great meal. You've got your protein, you've got your carbs, you've got all your vegetables.
Grace, I'm impressed with you. Every meal I've made with you so far, you're ticking every single box for Nature Boy. I'm loving this. Nice.
And you could make this 2 days ahead of time. Leave it in the fridge, and then just come home from work, pop your oven on 200 degrees, and then 25 minutes, you've got your...
And then after that, you've got like slices of beautiful snacks that you can just savor into.
Take it to work.
Yeah.
Following day, absolutely. I'm a make ahead kind of girl.
Failure to prepare is preparing to fail, Grace.
That's so deep.
Eh? And you are definitely not failing at anything you're doing right now.
All right, so cheese goes in.
So we put the cheese in with it
before. Everything is a cheese and onion pie. So everything goes in.
I must say, the fact that we're using this hero ingredient, I've got to talk about this because clover's sharpness when it comes to the clover cheddar and the milder flavor of clover tusses pairs perfectly together in this recipe like we've just discussed now. It's nothing but elite quality, elite taste, and elite texture too, especially when we melt it. And that clover cheese is going to ensure that you get the very best out of the results that you are putting together when you're preparing this incredible dish for your family. Now, I see you've got that cheese all involved. I think the only thing I would want of that is a little bit of malt, little bit of like...
Absolutely, that's what we're going to do now.
Yes.
So here's a tip for you. Don't season until after you've added your cheeses, so that you can, because cheese sometimes is a little bit more salty, so taste after you've added your cheeses and then season after.
I suppose you don't want to end up and then this beautiful dish is now just killed by all the salt because you didn't taste it before.
Absolutely.
All right.
Right, you can fill our pie dish with filling.
All right, guys, if you just...
No, with the filling, dude. Let's, okay, I'll do it.
I'm so excited. You said every time I just want to do this.
You just want to put the... You just want to put the pastry at the bottom.
That's all I want to do, guys. If you're like me and you're struggling to figure out what's going on right now, you can head over to the expressoshow.com, where we've got a step-by-step guide on the ingredients, how to make this, how to do it, and how to put smiles on our dials.
Okay, you can put the top on.
Now can I do it?
Now
Are
you
you
can
sure?
do it.
Okay. So what am I actually doing? Just place it on?
Pop it on top,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, my moment has arrived.
Here we go.
Papa.
Okay,
Simple as
that's
that.
absolutely perfect.
So I'm always intimidated by a pie because, like I was just going to ask you now, the basting and...
We're going to brush it with a little bit more of, just a little bit of milk with the egg.
Okay.
And just brush it, and that's just going to give us our golden glow. And it needs about 25, 30 minutes in the oven. You must just make sure that your pastry is done really nice and fluffy and golden.
Yeah.
And so 200 degrees. Pastry goes in quite hot.
Okay.
So then do that. Oh, this filling. We're making another one, Raul.
Yes, please. Whoops, I'm spilling over here. Clearly, we've got ingredients for more, so we can get onto that.
Absolutely.
I think I've done it okay.
That is absolutely perfection.
Clover, cheese,
Good
and
job.
onion pie coming right at you. You saw it first right here on expressoshow.com. Get the recipe inspiration if you need it. And I think that's all that this work is done, right? Yeah.
We just got to eat it.
Yes, okay. While we get to that, you guys can find out what's happening first up with the news. Let's check in with Carl.
Clover cheese is for those who love life, where everything falls into place and melts away our cares, adding joy and stretching our imagination. Clover, for the love of cheese.
Made with love by Clover.
Time to get into news headlines, the final wrap-up for the morning. The Electoral Commission has confirmed that electronic registration will be introduced as one of the methods of participating in elections. An announcement is expected soon. The Chief Electoral Officer, Sai Mamabolo, said the necessary security measures would be in place to ensure that the person registering electronically was the same voter who draws his cross on polling day. However, Mamabolo said it was not yet clear what the impact of COVID-19 would be on the October 27 elections. 2 suspects have been arrested in the Western Cape by the Hawks and officials of the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment in connection with dried abalone valued at almost 10 million rand. Police say they stopped a car and a truck on the N7 en route to Malmesbury. The nearly 24,000 pieces of abalone were hidden in 70 containers in a fake compartment under the truck. The 2 suspects, aged 28 and 35, are to appear in the Atlantis Magistrates Court. On to international news. Spain has deployed troops after record numbers of migrants entered its northern African enclave of Ceuta from Morocco. Some 8,000 people have reached Ceuta in 2 days. The migrants, who include some 1,500 minors, either swam around the border fences that jut out into the sea or walked across at low tide. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has vowed to restore matters. Spain says around half of the migrants have been sent back to Morocco. By last night, footage of the beach showed that nearly all migrants had been cleared. Staying abroad, Israel bombarded Gaza from the air, and Palestinian militants resumed cross-border rocket fire yesterday after a brief overnight lull. The UN humanitarian agency said nearly 450 buildings in the Gaza Strip have been destroyed or badly damaged, including 6 hospitals and 9 primary care health centers. Gaza medical officials say 213 Palestinians have been killed, including 61 children and 36 women. Israeli authorities say 10 people have been fatally wounded in Israel, including 2 children. And to wrap up with a feel-good story, a supermodel making world headlines. The world-famous supermodel Naomi Campbell yesterday announced that she had become a mother to a baby girl. She turns 51 in 4 days' time. In interviews over the years, Campbell had spoken about her plans of becoming a mom. In 2017, she said in an interview, and I quote, "I think about having children all the time, but now with the way the science is, I think I can do it when I wish." The supermodel did not disclose further details about the newborn, no name, no date of birth, but she did say that a beautiful little blessing blessing had chosen her as her mother. She added another quote, "So honored to have this gentle soul in my life. There are no words to describe the lifelong bond that I now share with you, my angel. There's no greater love." The catwalk superstar was discovered as a schoolgirl and went on to become the first black British model to appear on the cover of Britain's Vogue. London-born Campbell is also known for her charity work, and in 2005 founded Fashion for Relief, for charity merging fashion and philanthropy. That's a wrap of your news headlines for now. Let's take a look at the sport. Let's start you off with some rugby. World Rugby and SA Rugby yesterday confirmed that Rugby World Cup Sevens 2022 will be taking place in Cape Town from 9 to 11 September next year. The 8th edition will feature 24 men's and 16 women's teams. Both the Blitzboks and Imbokoro teams have been included. The qualified teams for the men's event are defending champions New Zealand, with England, South Africa, Fiji, Argentina, USA, France and Scotland. In the women's draw, South Africa will take on New Zealand, France, Australia and the USA in Cape Town. On to football. Premier Soccer League action continued last night with Bloemfontein Celtic coming from behind to beat Chippa United. That was 2-1 at the Sisa Dukashe Stadium. Following the result, Celtic moved up to 10th, while Chippa remained in 15th place. In other results, Swallows FC and Stellenbosch played out to a goalless draw, and Baroka FC and their Limpopo rivals TTM also drew 0-0. There'll be 2 PSL fixtures today. Golden Arrows take on TS Galaxy at 3 p.m. and Cape Town City FC take on Maritzburg United. That'll be at 5 p.m. Now, staying with football, just a few days after Leicester City beat Chelsea 1-0 to be crowned FA Cup champions, Thomas Tuchel's men got sweet revenge in the English Premier League to boost their top 4 hopes. The Blues recorded a 2-1 win over the Foxes at Stamford Bridge to move up to 3rd in the standings. In other results from last night, Brighton stunned champions Manchester City 3-2, and Manchester United were held to a 1-1 home draw by relegated Fulham in their penultimate league match of the season. There'll be 6 Premier League matches tonight featuring Tottenham, West Ham, Arsenal and Liverpool. They'll all be at action from 7 p.m. That's a wrap-up of your sport on Expresso this morning. Let's take a look at your weather.
Thank you so much for that sports update, Mr. Wasty, but also thank you to all of you for sharing your sunrise view with us this morning. It really is a wonderful way to start the day. Now, we started off the morning with Nikki Meyer from Athlone, who shared this early morning view. We had Roxy Mays from Gqeberha, who shared this photo of the sky transitioning from cloudy conditions as the sun rises. And then at 7 a.m., we also received this beautiful photo of the sky scattered with clouds from Verity Barnes Herbert, all the way from Riebeek West. And then last but definitely not least, we had Versha Chauka also shared this absolutely stunning view of the sun rising over the ocean in her area. Now, of course, if you too would like to be featured in our weather segment, it really is simple. All you need to do is head on over to the Expresso Facebook page to share your photo and location with us. We would love to see how your morning starts in your part of the country. We appreciate all of our viewers, including our growing international audience who tune in via YouTube and the Africa channel. And so if you are based in Santa Barbara, California, this one is just for you. Now, situated on a south-facing section of coastline, the longest such section on the west coast of the United States, the city lies between the steeply rising Santa Ynez Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. If you are in Santa Barbara today, you can expect a sunny day ahead with the wind picking up in the afternoon, and a maximum of 24 degrees Celsius is forecast. In other news as well, the South African Weather Service has warned of cold, rainy and windy conditions from tomorrow as 2 cold fronts would spread eastward over the southern parts of the country. The cold front is set to move over the southwestern Cape tomorrow morning, causing widespread showers and rain, especially over the western parts of the Western Cape. Now, it's expected to spread over the eastern parts of the Western Cape, the southern parts of the Northern Cape and western parts of the Eastern Cape as well. On Friday, a second cold front is expected to make landfall, bringing rain and light snow over the Western Cape. Now, the cold will invade central parts of the country on Friday, with maximum temperatures dropping significantly. Now, these conditions are expected to reach KwaZulu-Natal, Mpumalanga and Gauteng on Saturday and Sunday, as small stock farmers are also warned that animals should be taken to a shelter. Temperatures are expected to drop significantly over the central, western and southern interior of the country from Saturday morning, with frost possible in places. Right now, here is a final look at the temperatures for today. For you, Polokwane, do expect a low of 8 today, peaking at 24. Umbombela ranges from 13 to 28. Pretoria, for you, there's a low of 10 and a high of 22. Johannesburg coming through with a low of 9 and a high of 21. Mahikeng, 10, 25. And then for you, Klerksdorp, it is a low of 10 and a high of 26. Kimberley ranges from 13 to 26. Bloemfontein, 7, 24. If you're out and about in Richards Bay, sunshine is coming your way with a low of 18 and a high of 28. Sunshine also coming your way, Pietermaritzburg, with a low of 12 and a high of 29. And then South Africa's playground, Durban, ranges from 18 to 27 today. Mthatha, 12, 30. East London, 21, 31. Cradock, for you, it is 13, 28. Gqeberha, 15, 24. George coming through with a low of 12 and a high of 22. And then the mother city, Cape Town, ranges from 14 to 19 today. Worcester, for you it is 11:25, Sutherland 6:20, and then last but definitely not least, Uppington showing off today with a low of 15 and a high of 30. Of course, wherever you find yourself on this Wednesday, remember to keep it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
So, let us go to a beautiful place called Gqeberha. Yeah. It's lekker. Let's go. We should go right now.
We should go right now. And of course, Tapiso's still tuning in. We've got Ian Leroux is live. He's performing. He's bringing his beautiful voice. And we do not want to miss any of this. Let's check it out.
Thanks, guys. Well, I'm still coming to you live. Yes, that's correct. You got that right. The friendliest city in all of the land. The friendliest city in South Africa, Gqeberha. And I'm still hanging out with Ian Leroux, who's been treating us to some really fantastic gems. And the truth is, this man's got the smoothest vocals. You really do, Ian. I mean, you really, really do. This is just such a treat so early in the morning. And that's why you're able to take on songs like Luther Vandross' Dance With My Father, right? Which you're about to sing right now. Do it, Ian.
Child, before life removed all the innocence, my father would lift me high, dance with my mother and me, and then spin me around till I fell asleep. Then up the stairs he would carry me, and I knew for sure I was loved. If I could get another chance, another send back the only man she loved. I know you don't do it usually, but dear Lord, she's dying to dance with my Father again. Every night I fall asleep, this is all I ever dream, all I ever dream. I know you don't do it usually, but dear Lord, she's dying to dance with my Father again.
Yeah, Ian LaRue here on your Feel Good Breakfast show, singing an absolute classic, Luther Vandross, Dance with My Father. I could tell that that song took you somewhere, Ian. Why this specific song selection, and why is this the type of song that people are going to be able to catch and watch you perform on the 29th? What does it mean to you, this song?
So my dad passed away in a tragic car accident in 2009. And so the song Never in a Million is a song that my mom, or at least the words that my mom uses to say that never in a million would I find a man like your father. And so they were married for 32 years. It was a first boyfriend, first love, first friend. And so that is why I have such a connection with this song, singing that and imagining my mom, you know, desiring that dance with my father.
Well, let me tell you this. I think that you're able to bring that emotion across in the most beautiful way. I'm so sorry for your loss, but I know that, of course, you've got an angel that's watching and listening to you sing as you do for us here, and you've got us all smiling, and I'm sure your father is also doing the same out there. Listen, there is still one more performance, and I'll tell you this one, you're going to need some tissues. You're going to need to put some tissues on that coffee table because, wow, he's taking us deep into the fields. It's Ian LaRue out in Gqeberha.
Oh, I'm still in the
voice.
fields, yeah.
Wow. I literally got goosebumps.
Wow. You know what to say?
Ian LaRue
Yeah.
coming to you live from Gqeberha.
Wow.
He starts one performance coming your way, so you don't want to go anywhere. But after this, guess what time it is? It's a culinary hotline bling!
Ching, ching, ching!
welcome back, you beautiful souls. You're out here on S3, you're opening up, and we are live, and welcome back to another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling. Ching, ching, ching! Yes! Now we are joined by one of our favorite chefs, the man, the myth, the legend. It's Chef Clem in the building, and he's here to solve your culinary conundrums. Now, if you've got any questions for Chef Clem, then you can call us right now on 021 110 552. It's as simple as that, and we'll be here to solve any conundrum that you have. Now, last week, we had Sean call in about a fried chicken, and we promised we'd get back to him with his conundrum. So, Chef Clem, let's take it away, my man. Sean was asking us how to prepare good fried chicken. The man is wanting us to come through, and I know you are probably, when it comes to the hierarchy of fried chicken connoisseurs and makers, you're right up there, brother.
I just love it.
You are right up there, man. You're the king de la king when it comes to the chicken.
So we answered Sean's question on the phone, but I was like, you know what? Seeing how it's done means a lot more. So let's actually just break it down. Like we're going to break down the chicken.
Nice.
So the first thing I do when it comes to fried chicken, if it's like a very last-minute craving, I don't do the step I'm about to show you. But if you do this step, it's like when you bite into the chicken, you hear the angels on the little harps, they're singing. It's amazing.
I want that.
And it makes a huge difference, and it costs you very, very, very little to get ultimate fried chicken. And that step is brining.
Wow, so that's the game changer step, brining.
It is.
Okay.
So I've got some cold water in this part over here, and brining happens basically with the salt that you use, right? It kind of removes, it adds excess moisture to the chicken, enhances flavor as well. But it adds excess moisture, so it actually adds weight. I'm gonna actually let you check it out in a little bit. Okay. So, cold water, I'm gonna go in with salt. We've got some superfine salt. You can use any salt, just don't use the expensive flaked salt, okay? Because you don't need that, you just need salt. So the salt.
And you're really hoying it in there, eh? You got like 3 tablespoons.
It's gonna. Remember, this is gonna kind of like infuse the chicken. It's not gonna make it salty, but we will end up using less salt when we actually do season the chicken.
All right.
Work with me.
So if you guys are watching, obviously, expressoshow.com, we do also have that brine recipe if you guys are getting involved in this and prefer to read rather than watch. For me, I learn from seeing, so I'm paying a lot of attention to this right now.
So some sugar went in there.
Yes.
Some garlic goes in because we're gonna brine it. Like I said, it's gonna take on that excess moisture, that extra flavor. So if we can add extra things to it now, if we add garlic, the chicken's gonna take on the flavor of that garlic.
Okay, so this is what gets absorbed. So whatever you throw into this little concoction of flavor and love is what the chicken's gonna pull in.
Yes, so Williams does a butter brine.
Oh,
so that chicken takes on butter.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So brining, I'm telling you, it's amazing. So what you're gonna do now, get this on the heat. All you're gonna do, you're gonna keep on stirring it until all the sugar and the salt is dissolved. Then you're done.
Okay.
And what you have to do is let this cool down, because you can't put hot liquid over chicken. You don't want to do that. You don't want to start cooking the chicken. So what I do is I just add a whole lot of ice to it, bring the temperature down super quick.
Is the ice not going to like saturate or dilute the flavor?
Nah, it's fine. It's okay. It's going to drop down that temperature. You've got the quantity of salt in there. Make sure it's at least just below room temperature. Then you put your chicken in, right? What I do overnight. And I made a roast chicken last night, and I brined it the day before.
Wow.
Because I was in the mood for it. And I really wanted it. Okay, so pick up this chicken, and you're not going to actually, you're gonna tell the difference without even comparing chicken 1 to chicken 2. Okay, here we go. Just try this. This is unbrined, okay?
Unbrined chicken, okay.
Pick up the, and like I know the plate's got some weight, but not a lot. Just pick up the chicken, pick up the chicken, pick up the chicken. No, sorry, pick up the plate, pick up the plate. Pick up the plate, my bad.
Pick up the plate. Wow, weird.
You can kind of feel there's a lot more weight to it. And we know there's
and I know the plate's heavy, but like...
There's a lot more. The chicken genuinely takes on...
brined
That's been brined overnight. So it's taken up all the flavors.
It's been bathing in that good
It's been
stuff,
bathing, it's been delicious. So what that does is, that stops your chicken from being dry, okay? Whether you're gonna brine it now, whether you're gonna roast it now, whether you're gonna fry it now, it's gonna retain so much more juiciness. It's gonna be insane.
That step alone is gonna save like 80% of the chicken attempting makers out there, because dry chicken is like a proper thing that we're struggling with.
It's a poultry crime. I mean, I was gonna even, no, it's wrong. Okay, so we've got our chicken, and now we're gonna start the fried chicken recipe. So hot sauce is a really great one, because hot sauce has all the spices, all the herbs in there. Everything's in there already, and it's a great way to add instant flavor. So get your brined chicken, and we've just portioned this. Get your brined chicken in there, and what we're gonna do is, normally we add buttermilk. But in all honesty, I've shown people how to make buttermilk with just a little bit of lemon and a bit of milk. But if you don't have a lemon, could happen. Just use milk. Just use milk. What it's going to do now is actually going to help you get the glue, in a sense, that's going to help the flour stick to it. So, Ra, I'm going to pass this to you. Can you mix the spices into the flour for me? Right. I'm going to give you this. This is not the utensil you need. But it's going to work. It's going to work. Okay.
I like that. You've got no excuse when you're in the kitchen. You can always make a plan.
No, exactly.
So, I've got flour here, right?
No, shame, I feel really bad. Let me give you just at least this. I'd use my others. Okay, you're going to use it. You're going to use it.
Accept it. I'm going to use this. All right.
So, I've got garlic powder.
Okay.
And I've got cayenne pepper and paprika, just mix it too. I'm going to add some salt. Salt is very important. You want to layer every step that you go. Okay, so I've got a very hot, spicy sauce in here.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of salt, but add a little more. Okay?
Can I start checking this in the...
Oui, you can go.
All right.
So a little bit of that milk goes in. And what I like to do is I like to let the chicken, it's got that flavor from the brine already.
Yes.
So I don't need to marinate it again. So give it 5 minutes in that hot sauce before you add the milk.
And this magic step of brining is like a winner. You don't have to do much afterwards. If you hit that step correctly, you're pretty much in the end zone by the sounds of it. This is all just like cherry on the top when it comes to cooking, like making that crispiness, making that batter.
So what I do at home is I've got a 5-liter ice cream container. So when I brine one chicken, roasting one chicken for me is like, okay, cool, you know. But if you can roast 2 chickens, you know, chickens are so versatile. They become lunches, they become dinners again. So many things. So I always brine 2 chickens and roast 2. Or,
so
you know
your kids one day are going to open up the ice cream tubs and hope for ice cream and, oh no, it's curry, oh no.
And then the secondary business, Pedro's chicken is going to kick off, you know.
Nice, I like that,
okay.
I like that.
So we're going to we've got drums, we've got some thighs, and we've got some wings.
Chicken wings.
So here's the thing, this is the most important part I told Sean. When you get your chicken into your flour, make sure it gets a good coating of the flour. Get your hands in there as well, press it down. I'm still busy in the kitchen, so I'm not going to do that now.
Don't
but make
be
sure you
shy.
get every single nook and cranny of the chicken. But take it out the chicken, put it on the tray, and let it sit in that tray for 5 minutes. You want the moisture of the brine, of the marinade, to really absorb that flour.
So like another level of just throwing in some of that, gluing it together, binding it nicely.
It makes all the difference.
Okay.
So I'm going to let this sit for a little bit. I'm going to fry it when we come back in part 2. Oil's busy heating up. But do you want to try some chicken?
Excuse me?
Can I also phone a friend? Can I also phone a friend?
Oh, yeah?
Is Mr. Wasty available?
Mr. Wasty in the
no,
building!
he can't run. So I'm gonna eat on his behalf. Actually, no. He's like, hell no.
Is he
There's chicken too. Okay. I'm gonna eat on. Okay, I'm gonna send him some just now. So this is chicken that we've literally gone through all the steps, brining, the properly that's sitting in the flour. All of that has happened. And you can see, you got that beautiful, it's also not even like just a sheet of crumb. It's got little snaggly bits, and that's texture. That's what the magic of fried chicken is. That little, every time and then you get like a good nugget of like that crispy crumb.
Yes.
You want that. You want that. Okay. So, thigh guy, wing guy, breast guy. Where you at, drum guy?
I want that leg right there, man. That's the perfect top. I see the sauce, guys. Let me finish this up. I see you got a crisp and a tang on every single piece.
It's that same hot sauce that we used to marinate the chicken. We're actually just serving that on the side. Okay? So this is for you, Mr. Wasty. Yes. Because I know you're busy. I'm gonna just like...
Yes, man. That's it for us here in the kitchen. We're going to be right back at you with a part 2. Keep calling that line. We'll be helping you with your conundrums. And, let's get eating, man. See you soon. Nice.
Well, on that note, thank you very much for that bite. I'll taste later, but at the moment, I can't wait to tuck into some incredible Omar's Rusk. So, now that we've answered all the culinary conundrums, it's time to put these 2 individuals, and I actually need to call Ryle in, because the thing is, he still has chicken on his face, so I'll let him chill for a second, but we have a 5-second game, and this is an incredible game, just to kind of put your wits and ensure that these 2 can think on their feet. So, you know, it's winter, and it's cold, and we're super hungry, but Ryle, please come take a seat over here, my friend. I hope that you are ready for...
Did you not bring us anything like that?
Did you keep some? Because I want to do a combination. I want to do chicken and a rusk.
All your pieces in my belly. Is that okay?
Wow. It's always that person.
Okay.
Well, what's happening here, Cole?
Okay, so what we're going to do is you 2 very good-looking people that I work with and that I'm so privileged to work with, we're doing a 5-second game. Okay. Now, you are playing for some massive, massive, massive odds here. I mean, this is something huge. This is a coveted Omar Yum peanut butter rusk box. Nobody has this. Well, actually, if you do, if you're a local supermarket. But if you want this to win this on TV, it happens right now. So this is yours. Today, we're having a theme for our 5-second game, which is home.
Home.
And remember, you're going to only have 5 seconds to answer all of these things. Okay, I want to start with you, Jamie. Ladies first, do you mind?
Oh, no.
Are you ready to rusk it all? I mean, risk it all, sorry. Excuse me.
You're silly.
Always. Right, are you ready?
Patience.
Okay, big one, 5-second counter coming through, and name 3 rooms in a house.
The bedroom, the toilet, and the front room.
Wow.
What's the front room?
The room in front.
What is a front? What do you do in the front room?
Yes, I want to know what the front
What
room
activities take place there?
I just...
A lot of stuff.
Lots of fronting.
So, the front room.
You guys don't know.
This is... Okay, let's move on. That's fine. Let's go from the front room to the next room. Ryle, name 3 things you would find in a bathroom.
A cloth, a toothbrush, and toothpaste.
Perfect. Well done.
Boom.
Hey?
A front toothbrush.
Yes. Sorry, the front teeth. Toothpaste. That makes sense.
To brush your front teeth.
Okay. Next up, right?
I'm nervous.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Jamie, name 3 reasons you'd oversleep.
My alarm didn't work, Luca kept me up at night, and because I'm just tired.
Perfect. Love it. Honestly, that was great.
You sneaked that one in.
Yeah, you did hear that one. There was like... Okay, Ryle, this is it. Name 3 rules in your house.
You have to talk, you have to take your shoes off, and you have to have a good time.
I love that.
Yes, no stilton.
So can nobody sit there in your house?
You're not allowed to.
So I can't sit in the front room doing nothing?
Not allowed. You have to speak in the house. No one in the house gets sent to... There's no quiet time. You never get sent to go think about what you did. You talk about it.
Okay. I always have odd socks, so that's great. I'm going to take my shoes off. Okay, Jamie, over to you. Name 3 things you miss about your childhood home.
Oh, my friends. The people, the love, the energies.
Okay, people love energies.
I gave you 4.
Thank you. That was overachieving, yeah, I like it. Ryle, name 3 things you want in your dream house.
5-port garage, a massive pool, and a bridge going over into my main room. Did you picture my house, by the way?
Do you not mean... Not main room, you meant...
Front
Thank you,
room.
yes!
Oh.
Now we accept.
Everybody dreams of a beautiful front room. Yeah,
a bridge. Yes, a
so no one
bridge.
sneaks in. You gotta like walk and get to that main bedroom, which is gonna be based right up on the pier, overlooking the garden and my neighbors around me.
I'm so glad dreams are free because, wow, that sounds like an expensive dream.
Watch this space, Rosanna. You're gonna see me in my front room, just chilling, of course.
And everyone's going to be speaking. Everyone's
I love
no
that.
silence.
This is going to be a whole thing, I know. Okay, right, final round.
All right.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Jamie.
Yes.
Name 3 reasons to visit someone.
You miss them, you want to hug them, to eat.
Perfect. I'll accept all.
Hang on.
I'll accept
So when
all.
you come to my house...
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Do you know that
I'll be ready.
that's the best way to save money,
For the
is to
pancakes.
around meal times, to say, hey, I was in the area.
I like that. And then
Yeah.
I happen to just have some barakat pakkies. You want to just pop some in here?
That's it.
I like
Or
that.
foil in your pocket. Ryle, over to you. Name 3 excuses to get someone to leave your house.
I have a meeting. My child's crying in the other room. I need the toilet.
Time is up.
You need the toilet.
Go out my house. I need the toilet.
Oh my goodness. This is it is a tough one. Okay.
I got it.
It is a tough one. But because of sheer creativity, and also because of a front room, I'm giving it to Jamie Lee. Well done, congratulations. Also, because she gave me 4 answers to the one name 3 thing, you know.
I will bring this to your front room and then we can speak about it the entire time, my friend.
Carl, would you like to come and visit
you
us
can
in our
come
front
as well.
room?
I would love
Share
to.
some Omaras.
Honestly, just
And
I
when
would
he
just
says
love
he
to
needs to
take-
go to the toilet, we know that it's our time to leave.
So whether you're home alone in your front room or with the whole family, we want to give you some rusk. So this week, you stand the chance to win an Omar Rusk hamper plus 1,000 Rand in cash. To enter, we want you to tag a person that is far away that you'd love to dip a Omar with and tell us why using the hashtag dipping time. You can enter on the Expresso Facebook page or Twitter, and then of course that's the competition post. Just respond to that. To top it off, every time you enter, you also enter the grand prize draw to win a premium Smeg hamper worth 12,000 Rand. Imagine that in your front room. Competition closes today at 12 p.m. so get on it ASAP, and all the terms and conditions can be found on the front room of expressoshow.com.
So the time he told me to go to the thing, say you will just...
Anytime is dipping time. when it's with the ones you love.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Nelson Mandela once said, there can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than in the way in which it treats its children. This could not be more true, and children need to feel safe and sound with their basic survival needs met, and no place knows this better than the Door of Hope. Purity teamed up with Loot Love and muralist Kylie Cerebro to give the children at Door of Hope a playroom makeover. Let's take a look.
Door of Hope Children's mission was established in 1999 at the Berea Baptist Church. A baby box was built into the wall of the church to offer a safe alternative to child abandonment. Since we started in 1999, Door of Hope has taken in close to 1,800 babies. It was about March last year that Purity contacted me to say that they wanted to do some upgrades at our toddler house. Then lockdown happened. Unfortunately, nothing could take place, so we waited patiently. The kids used to go to the Play and Learn Centre at the village, but because of lockdown, we couldn't take them anymore, so they were stuck in this house, which wasn't really a creative environment for them. So in September, Purity contacted us again to say we can start the ball rolling.
So we're at the Door of Hope Children's Home for a charity playroom upgrade that was actually a part of an initiative to launch the Purity Journey Journal app that was launched last year, where we teamed up with a group of influencers, and the winning influencer was Loot Love, who managed to generate the highest number of sign-ups, and her choice for a charity was the Door of Hope. And here we are to provide the children with a beautiful environment so that they can continue to make some lovely memories at the Door of Hope.
We've been trying for such a long time to make it a little bit more fun and bright for the kids, seeing that they are going to be spending every day here and no longer will be able to go to the Play and Learn Centre at the village. So it was really good news to know that somebody was willing to help us make this a more creative environment.
Creating this mural for me is really important. I've actually been feeling quite emotional about doing it. I I just love in any way to be able to give back, and art for me is something that's always been a passion of mine, a comfort space of mine, a happy place, and for me I just love that I am able to give that back and share that with the kiddies. The aim was just to create a really beautiful, happy, bright space for the kids to enjoy. Really makes it a very nice homey space, so I really just hope that they enjoy it and everybody who comes to see it.
This upgrade really means a lot to Door of Hope. We want to give our children a perfect, warm, loving and educational environment. Just seeing the work that has been done here has made us really feel positive about the programs we can offer the children in this house. We have introduced them to basic education for their age group, and they love colors, they love pictures, they love nature. And I think when they started seeing what was happening and what was taking place, they were just so excited to be part of the painting of the boxes. They were excited that they could have a nice TV against the wall where we could show them their educational programs. The kids love singing and dancing.
So at Purity, we are extremely proud to be a part of this initiative. We believe in supporting all little ones on their journey to realizing their full potential, and by working with a home like the Door of Hope, we believe that we can help all the little ones here to be the best that they can be.
We've been waiting for this for a long time, to give this beautiful environment to our children. It is a dream come true. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much.
Oh, this brings so much warmth and love to my heart, just seeing the beautiful transformation that took place. Now, Lutando, aka Lut Love, is online with us right now. You had the opportunity to nominate any charity close to your heart. Why did you decide on nominating Door of Hope for this amazing playroom upgrade?
I think for me, you know, as a mom to two little girls, I understand how complicated and how hard it is being a parent. And, you know, Door of Hope gives parents the opportunity to kind of not necessarily take over, but I know that a lot of moms are under a lot of pressure and can't afford to kind of take care of their children or keep them. And any space that gives a child a chance, you know, that a parent can kind of, you know, leave their child and know that they're going to grow up and they're going to be okay and they're going to be taken care of. Because I don't think any parent actually wants to do that. But any space that is a safe haven and a space where kids get an opportunity to get a life, a beautiful life at that, grow, be around other kids and be in an environment that's safe, you know, that's really great and will put them in a better position in life, I think is something to support, you know. And whenever there's a space that can help a mother in need, a parent in need, I'm for that, and that's exactly why I chose Door of Hope.
Well, you're certainly giving a lot of people hope by using your platform for good. And also, you know, it's beautiful to see the transformation that the playroom went. The environment is more stimulating for the kids. Now, how much does it mean to you seeing how this all came together?
Oh, it's so precious. You know, kids love color. Kids love spaces that are, as you said, stimulating, exciting, bright, colorful. You know, they like getting involved. They want to play all the time. They want to sing all the time. So, you know, seeing this unfold is really, really heartwarming and beautiful. And you know, when I think again about my kids and how much they get excited when they get a toy or they get something colorful or you play with them or you sing with them, or they're in a space that is just so exciting for them to explore. So they'll go from pillar to post, touching, feeling, experiencing. I don't even have the words to describe how sweet, how precious, how beautiful, and just how heartwarming it is to see something like this unfold.
It is heartwarming indeed, and Door of Hope is doing some incredible work. Now, Lut Love, I need to know from you, what is your hope for these kids?
Oh, more love, more support, more growth, and more people giving to the kids. You know, more people giving, whether in time, whether financially, whether, you know, through art, whether through anything that anybody can do. I really hope that, you know, people come through with love and support, and presence is a big thing for kids, you know, and love is a very big thing. So for those who have a moment, for those who have time, for people who want to give back but don't know how to, give yourself, to the kids, you know? And I just really hope that they know that they're loved, and they know that they have a beautiful chance at life, and they know that there is always somebody out there who's going to support them, who's going to love them. And they're no different to any other kid on this planet. They're just as brilliant, they're just as great, and they're going to be amazing as well. Despite the circumstances, they're going to be just fine.
Oh, well, Loot Love, you are certainly spreading the love, and it was so lovely connecting with you and just to see the impact that Purity had on Door of Hope.
Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate this.
As our children grow from tots to teens, we realize that growing up is a journey for both the child and parent. Purity promises to be there every step of the way on this journey of a lifetime.
Thank you so much, Zoe. We are still wishing everyone a happy Wednesday. Now, Ida J. LaShawn once said this: a new baby is like the beginning of all things. Wonder, hope, a dream of all possibilities. And we recently gave you the chance to win yourself a Purity hamper filled with an incredible range of toiletries to the value of 1,000 Rand. And boy, oh boy, we have our lucky winner on the line right now.
Okay, here we go. So, congratulations to, drum roll please, yes!
Hi, thank you guys. Thank you, yay.
I'm glad. The yay is important in the morning, but I just want to read out what you answered. Okay, you said, I currently use the creamy petroleum jelly enriched with soothing aloe vera and vitamin E. I use it for myself as a nipple cream or for dry skin and lips, for baby as a barrier cream, and for those baby skin spots. It was a lifesaver whilst I was in hospital with so many uses, definitely a space saver. Plus, it smells amazing. Thank you so much, Kaisha. That was absolutely incredible.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Kaisha, I can obviously attest to this. This must be every mom's dream. How does it feel to be a winner?
It feels absolutely amazing. It's the first time that I've actually won something from a live TV show. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure, Mama.
Well, there's so many blessings in your life right now, I can tell. But we know the creamy petroleum jelly has been your go-to product for a while. What toiletry product or products are you looking forward to using the most from this beautiful hamper?
Anything from the good nights range, because my little boy has me on night shift at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
So hoping it will calm him down and I'll have a good night's sleep, and so will he.
Oh. Kahisha, what does this hamper mean to you? Why will this be such a great help?
It will be a great help because currently I'm at home and we all know baby things are so expensive, and this will be a really huge help. And also to get some sleep at night.
Well, you know what, when you win something, it tends to help the sleeping patterns. So congratulations, Kaisha, once again.
Yes.
And thank you for entering the competition. And all the best going forward and for the future. But with a newborn baby, this Purity Toiletries hamper could not have come at a better time. So well done, Kaisha, and it could be you next.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. We're live right here, opening up on S3, and it is that time again. It's the culinary hotline bling. Ching, ching, ching! And we're joined once again by Chef Clem, our foodie panel expert, and he's helping us out with all the culinary conundrums that we got. And if you've got any questions, of course, call us right now. That's 021-110-552. And we're talking all things chicken, fried chicken, baked chicken, oven chicken, chicken. And we've got a question from Vincent all the way from Durban. Clem, this is a good one for you. He asks, when I make chicken in the oven, it comes out too dry. Now, I hope he was listening to our first part where we spoke about brining, right? And that was like a killer step to kind of preventing this dryness, I'd imagine, yeah?
Exactly. What I also do is if I'm going to be roasting chicken, I brine the chicken. We did that step one. Then what I do is I spatchcock the chicken, which is basically butterfly the chicken open, and then I leave it in a nice, like a dish like this, in the fridge for about an hour.
Okay.
And what you'll notice is the skin will start losing a little bit of that glossiness, and that some of the moisture will come out the skin. The enemy of crispiness is moisture. If you can take that moisture out the chicken skin, you're gonna get banging chicken skin.
Okay.
Like literally, it is so good. So let's just quickly work on this really quickly. And I've got another recipe, but I've got cloths and everything, so we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Salmonella is very important, guys. Also, preparation of your chicken. It actually starts off by when you buy the chicken. Make sure you're getting free range if you can, and the better quality. So Woolworths, obviously, the excess fat is being trimmed. There's no routine hormones. It's the chicken you want. Okay, so that's where it starts off. If a chicken's frozen, don't put it in water. Don't put it in anything. Let it just sit on the counter and come to temperature on its own. Don't ever put it in the microwave.
The defrost function, you say it's a no-go?
Zoe, bro? No, I know she doesn't do that. Okay, you're gonna spatchcock this chicken very quickly. So you can either just go straight to the backbone. Some people cut the backbone out, but I'm like, you paid for that excess meat. Why remove so much of it? So what you do is, I take the backbone and chicken. Oh, by the way, this is the front. This is the breast.
Yes.
This is the back.
Yes.
So grip the backbone, kind of tilt it until I see there's like a little dimple, or where see there's like a little. You can see there's a kind of like separation there.
Fold or seam.
What sits below here are these two little jewels, the oysters. And those are so delicious and tender, and you don't want to remove that because that is the best part of the chicken. But people end up like cutting through it and missing it, so don't do that. Then, okay, so you can see where I've gone. This doesn't take a lot of work, and you don't even need the sharpest knife. I always work with a sharp knife in the kitchen. Just kind of remove that little bit.
Wow.
And then what I do is when I actually roast the chicken, I put this piece back. I put it in the tray as well. Chef snack.
Okay, I see some flavors, some extra things.
So now we know we have two oysters sitting because we did our test, so I want to go straight down the middle of those, so I'm not going to damage those oysters. And last, the tail. And don't take the tail off your chicken. Just don't. Okay, cool. Now, we've got our roasting dish. Now I'm going to just wash my hands.
I must just say, I'm blown away by just the fact of how you're dissecting this chicken, because that is an art on its own. I was watching a very good buddy of mine, Mike Wright, dissect the chicken into its different pieces and preparing some of those parts. It was an amazing watch, Clem, but the way you're doing this, it's a little bit unique and different, and I like how you're savoring everything in this chicken as well, so nothing's going to waste.
Talking about Mike Wright, man's a legend. He's also our social media manager at Expresso.
Yeah,
love him so much. Absolute legend. Okay, cool. And it's kind of all practice. People are very intimidated by getting to the chicken and starting to do their things. Once you kind of like play around with it a few times, you're not gonna destroy the chicken. Just work in it. See the anatomy. Use your like a sense of like feeling where the bones are. You're never gonna want to cut through a bone. So if you feel a gap, chances are there's a joint there, and it'll be easier just to slice through that. So use your senses. It's all about practice, actually. So what we're gonna do now is give this knife a wash as well. What we're gonna do is we're gonna only cook the chicken on one side, skin side up. And it works. This is how I did my chicken last night. This is how I always roast my chicken, so one side up. And by spatchcocking it, you created more surface area. So instead of cooking the chicken for an hour,
it's like almost half the time.
Yeah, about 35 minutes to 40 minutes, and you're actually good because you've now expanded the chicken, getting more contact with the heat. So first things first, and there's peppercorns in there because of the brine. I'm not going to take it out. Keep that in there. A little bit of salt goes. A little bit of salt goes in there.
Waste not.
A little bit of lemon at the bottom of the tray. A little bit of thyme. So what's going to happen, right? When it roasts, you got heat coming from the bottom, heat coming from the top. So you're going to get that nice crispy skin from the top of the chicken, and at the bottom, it's going to get heated. The chicken's going to get First, the lemons and thyme are going to get that heat. It's going to perfume the chicken, so you get all that flavor coming through from the bottom, crispy skin in the top. You do not turn the chicken over. You don't.
Wow, what a combination.
So very quick, a little bit of oil. The only reason for oil is going to help that skin get a little brown. You can do butter. You can also stick some butter under the skin. The reason I'm putting extra butter on is because I want a little bit of salt. This time, a little bit of flaky salt. That oil's going to help it act as a glue. Oven, 35 minutes, 40 minutes.
Boom, 180.
You're done. And you see the size of this tray. If you want to maneuver it properly, you can actually put 2 chickens in there, and I would.
Yeah.
I would, absolutely. Roast 2 chickens at a time, like I said. Tomorrow's lunch, tomorrow's next leftover dinner, the next day's lunch. 2 chickens at a time.
Just in time. Let's find out who's on the line. Culinary Hotline Bling, how may I help you? This is Ryle speaking.
Good morning, dear. I just want to find out from Chef Clem how to make Hong Kong chicken via the pot, not via the oven.
Hong Kong chicken. And may I ask who's calling?
He's calling Rafika. He's speaking to Rafika.
Rafika, it's an absolute pleasure having you in the kitchen. Chef Clem is here to answer you.
So, Hong Kong chicken, there's no one recipe for Hong Kong chicken, but chicken recipes in Hong Kong genuinely have it's chicken that's got very aromatic. It's ginger, it's garlic. There's chili on there. So those are the essence, and the oyster soy sauce mixed with oyster. Oyster sauce, hoisin sauce, soy sauce. It's all those aromatic flavors that add umami to the chicken. So that's where the flavor comes from. So I'm going to be a little naughty, and I'm going to use the ingredients that you can use at home to get like Hong Kong inspired chicken. But we're gonna do something a bit naughty, okay? Because we need this on the fly now. We've got some fried chicken. We're gonna do like an Asian glazed fried chicken. Because we can. Okay. And it's gonna be really good. Okay, so I've got a pan on. What I'm gonna do is I'm going with a little bit of oil. And the thing about what I love about Asian recipes, they're not afraid to bring flavor through. Like I said, the spices, the chili.
They make you know it's there.
know what you're eating because it's so intense. Because the chili's in. So oil's in. What I'm going to do is that I've got a bit of ginger and garlic chili sauce, chili going in, a little bit of honey going in, a bit of soy sauce going in. And we're going to do this super quick.
Rafika's watching you with bated breath as quickly as you can. Get this together.
Chili, fermented chili sauce, and you can smell that. You can smell that so long. That's got like a.
Oh, that's nice. That's
okay, so we're going to mix this all through. Then we're going to take our fried chicken. I'm going super quick. But that's the thing about Asian food. You can do everything so quickly when your mise en place is done. Things happen so quickly in the kitchen. Okay, cool. Our chicken that we just fried goes in. We're going to start glazing that in the sauce.
Okay.
It's going to be so good. What you're going to do now is not wear a shirt. You can see it's bubbling? Give it a shot, giving it a little shake.
Get fancy, get fancy. All right, I see you. Nice form, Clem.
Don't wanna get chili sauce on myself. Make sure you get a nice bit of that glaze on there. This is honestly food that's gonna literally, it's gonna get you're gonna put that chili, you know, and you're gonna feel in the back of your throat. You're gonna love it. This is chicken that you are absolutely, you're not gonna have it every day, but you know what? Today's a good day. Make it.
Today's a good day to go all the way to mainland China. It looks like you've kind of pretty much done with that, and I hope we have answered your question. Rafika, thank you so much for calling in. It's the Culinary Hotline Bling. Another perfect edition. Chef Clem, you're always coming through with the magic. Thank you so much.
I'm here with the
Well, there you have it, guys. All the answers, the conundrums, the clues, the questions, the solutions when it comes to fried chicken and not making it dry. You heard it here first on Expresso Show. Now, what else you need to do? Go make some chicken, all right?
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. You're still opening up with S3 on this Wednesday. It's a feel-good kind of day. Yes, we are dancing into it. But of course, Tabiso is standing by now live in Gqeberha, where we have one last performance coming your way. So check it out.
It starts again.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are smiling. Yes, you're smiling. You've got friendly, happy-looking faces. But we know the truth, guys. We know the truth. The truth is you want to be here. You wish you were in Gqeberha with me. As Ian has given us all the music throughout the morning, it's been such a pleasure hanging out with you, Ian. You are fantastic. And I can't wait for everyone who is around to check this out, happening on the 29th of May at the Garden Roof Bar. You want to make sure that you are here because Ian's going to be performing lots of classics. And here is one, You Are Not Alone.
Here's to family favorites and recipes passed from mothers to daughters. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.